stream. Now. Live. Let's see just how live I am. Unlisted. Excellent. Now I just have to paste this link to the people who pay me to make videos for the internet. Oh my god. That happened. God, the last 10 years of my life have been bonkers. Okay. Wheee. Editing stream, wheee. Here we are, look, it's me making a post on Patreon. $2 or more, publish now. Okay. Right. And then while I wait for humans to appear, I will go to the bathroom and get some coffee. Let's get the diaper boys. Let's get gutlessandcodependent.bandcamp.com up here. While we wait to see if anyone will ever find me. Is it the first? It's the first one, isn't it? Literally one person watching. Oh my god. It's real. I'm real. I'm a real boy. Oh, no. It's fist pump. There we go. I'll be right back. Hello, you're the first person here. I'm about to go to I'm getting coffee. I'll be right back.
Prepare themselves for a proper fight. Their bodies caked in shit. They left the human race behind. They're too legit to be wasting time in urinals in stalls. When nappies just absorb it all. We're stronger than we smell. I'm full of rage, I'm full of shit. I'll send you straight to hell. I'm rock hard in a sea of piss. Life can't be better than this. Blood runs from my fist. I've got a rash on my filthy dick. Oh, diaper boy. Full lives, full hearts, full diapers, no regrets. Diaper boys, make some noise for the diaper boys. Make some noise for the diaper boys. I've been waiting for a woman who will tame me. She'll love me and she'll hold me tight. Then twice a day she'll change me. And tears are streaming down her cheeks. The air is thick with sin. Dirty minds make dirty sheets. I let her dive right in it's my diaper choice to live my life this way, and you can't take it away. No, you can't take it away.
Hello. I'm back. Oh. Hello, friends. This music is Gutless and Codependent.bandcamp.com. They are a band that release 2 songs every 2 years, except in 2016 Christmas when they released I Piss When I Come, and because the second song was about the Queen, which I'm legally not allowed to release, and the Queen was ill that year, the second song is I Piece When I Ham, which is like a fake Japanization of, I don't know what the word is for that, katakanaization of the song name. I just realized that this is he's got a picture of the band's one of the previous album logo covers on like an incredibly destroyed bathroom. That's very clever. I get it. Making connections. So, hello everyone. Oh, I have a webcam. Oh, that's not it. That's the thing that I use. Hello. How have you all been? I've been pretty good. Thank you for asking. It's nice to see you all here. Something I've noticed actually with these streams that I do want to bring up is currently these are just for like $10 patrons, which is like makes sense, but at the same time it means there's not many people you tend to be around for the exact period where I'm doing this, and the kind of point is I want to be able to take suggestions from a lot of people and like have a conversation, and that's a bit harder to do when there's not as many people. So I think maybe I should have this be a thing that we do for $5 patrons as well, and then I come up with something else that's just for you guys, but I don't know what. So you should tell me, because I'm scared and I have no idea, and this is supposed to be my job, so I should be clever at this, but I have no idea. Maybe I should go back to reading credits. I don't know. I'm glad you could finally catch this, by the way. Siegfried Pinzer, Ignis Rex, Mechfried. I don't know your name anymore. You have so many names. Anyway, so I've been doing some changes to this. We'll be going through them. I should probably angle this down. I thought I was going to be sitting up or sitting back a little more, but then I decided not to. Oh dear, my head. Probably really unflattering right now. Hello. This is your first stream since becoming a patron. Wow. Well, in that case, you could have become a patron like 2.5 months ago. I take so long to make my videos, so I'm just working on this. Like, there's a bit at the end where I make this joke about I'm like, where at the end I'm like, or you know what, spend time with people they love, or you know, watching speedruns, and that's it. That's all I've got for that. But what I was thinking was having this quickly pop up. I was like just messing around, waiting for me to start streaming, and I just quickly thought I could add this. Watching speedruns. I don't know why that makes me so happy, but just having that briefly come up and a fart noise, which I'm going to make a little bit quieter, is drums. It's like, for some reason it makes me so happy. Oh my god. Just got a new job and I'm finally able to support Harry more than I was doing. Super excited for this. Oh, Parker, thank you. And like, now I feel really bad because you just posted like, I finally can support HFOM, and you tune in and I'm like making a fart noise quieter. So I feel like this, like, that pop-up is a bit, it doesn't get enough attention. And I want it to, if it's going to go by that quick, it needs to be more present. So and also, I feel like it's a bit unfair to have it happen in the middle of Half Coordinated's Momodora run, which everyone should go watch. It's one of my favourite speedruns. It was the 2016 one, and he was just really nice all the time. He's so lovely, and he says some really beautiful things at the end of the run when the credits are rolling, and like everyone's upset by the end, and the announcer's like crying. He's a beautiful man in all the ways that term can be used to describe a person. So I can't have a fart noise play over footage of him, or maybe I should zoom in on it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm really enjoying Adobe Premiere 2018's new text thing. I think 2017 had it, but not a version I ever bothered updating to. So where you can, like, instead of like hitting Control T and messing around with a text thing and then you have to put it on the timeline, you just get to like have a text tool and edit text like it's After Effects, but also good. Like, it's lovely. I'm freaking out about how good this is. So Parker Creel says, to be fair, it's a pretty great fart noise. Yeah, isn't it? Like, isn't that the best? Like, I knew exactly what fart noise. I was like, that's the one I will use for when this pops up. And I found a fart sound effects compilation. Here's the one. It's a YouTube video. I downloaded it, went through and listened until I found that one. It was the fourth one, you know. So it's these generic ones. You know that. That's like an unfinished fart effect sound. How do you fuck up a fart sound effect? I can make a fart sound. I'm not going to. I have a sound effect that's just weird noises my body makes. I have like a folder full of weird, like, here are some sounds I recorded myself making. Like, here's the mic next to my throat when I'm drinking water really quickly. There's like weird sound effects that I could use. And one of them is, here's a minute of me like dismembering a KFC hot wing and just eating it very loudly right next to a mic. Like, you can make sound effects so easy. How do you fuck up a fart sound effect? It's not even finished. But I was like, I was like listening out because I knew there's only like 6 really like pop culturally well-known fart sound effects, and I knew this one was coming. I knew it was coming up, and I was right. It was the 4th one. I was like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. That was the one that was in my brain. When I think of a fart that's quick, that's the one. Hello and welcome to my live stream where I get very opinionated. Thank you for all of your support. It's great, like, Danny O'Dwyer like did a shout out to me, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I looked up his stuff, and he's got like these amazing like behind the scenes streams where he's like, here's how you do the thing, here's some cool editing tricks, here's how to get something that has the right feel for a piece, here's how sound can make a thing. You know, like he had a whole piece about how important it was that a sound effect was in the transition between one scene to the next to make it feel like a Fallout documentary. It's so beautiful. And like, you tune into me and it's like, I like this fart sound. Listen, these are garbage. Listen to that. Oh, to be fair, I did play that on fast forward just now. It sounds better backwards. It's not even that's just a guy going beep. Debating the quality and usefulness of different sound effects. Yeah, exactly. That one's just in the right speaker. So that's a weird fart. It can't be heard by left ears. They're just fucking with me now. They didn't expect anyone to listen to more than like the first 2 farts, because after that it's downhill. You know, they've got one good one in there, the 4th one, and that's it. So yeah, so I just downloaded that and just put that in. So yeah, that's my life. Thank you for enabling me to go on that tangent by complimenting the fart sound effect. It's $110 watching you audition fart noise. Oh my god. Well, you know, we will get... There are other sound effects for us to audition as we... Plus, I already picked the sound, so it's really stupid of me. Oh, here's a trick that I probably already told people. In Premiere, you can turn a sound effect or a piece of sound up, but you can only turn it up by 6 decibels. And some people use effects. You can add the volume effect again and raise it another 6, or you can like copy paste it twice so that it sounds louder, it increases the presence. You don't have to do that. If you want something to be louder, you select it and hit G, and then you can go set gain 2, and then that will, like, you can increase it by any number you want, including an absolutely insane amount, which will blow my eardrums out right now. Let's do it. Normalize max peaks to, you know, 12. There, this is too loud now. That's like, that hurt my ears. Like, that's like, listen to the. I'm just gonna exaggerate it even more. Just listen to this mix now. You know, this is how bad you can fuck up your sound.
You know, watching speedruns.
Fucking. That fart has so much presence now. It's just. Oh god, I use like really balanced headphones to. So there. So that's the prop. That's, you know. I'm looking at myself on the feed, waving my arms around, pulling a stupid, ugly, disgusting face, trying to describe a fart sound. It's stupid. So yeah, hit G and then you can set the sound. However, you can also normalize it, and normalize is adjust the volume so that the piece of sound, this full piece you have selected, its loudest is that sound. So the loudest thing will be that. So it will never be louder than that. So that's generally what I use, instead of, like, you can mix and match, like turn it up to down, you know, and you can turn it down as much as you want. Turning it up is a weird problem. So usually I normalize it so that I know exactly how loud something could possibly be, and then adjust downwards from there. So like I have Zoe Blade's Hello Calm, a great song by the way, at the end, and I've normalized the peaks to like -12 or something, I forget. But the gain, then it decides what the gain should be from there. So whatever I set it the max peaks to, it's like, well, that means it has to be -15, and that's just like a good way of getting it to work well. So you know, this is -6, and
Speedruns.
so that's fine. That's perfect. Like I'm back to enjoying that funny joke, the fart. I added a fart. You got to watch me in real time. I like it in like lowercase. It just like, I feel like it makes it adds to the joke in a way I'm not really sure how to describe. They should have sent a poet. I think you can adjust the height of the text separately. Oh yeah, here we are. Vertical scale. There we go. Just make it a little bit more. There we go. Beautiful. Now it says. Now it reads how I feel.
Watching speedruns.
That's beautiful. It just comes in. I might even like make it a little bit, like squidge it up a little bit, like. There we go. It's perfect. There. It's perfect. So,
speedruns.
Yeah, that's like exactly. I want it bigger now. I'm so indecisive. Oh, uniform. Oh. Honestly, my life really is an empty shell if this is all I'm indecisive about. If, like, this is the thing I'm doing with my life, and that you're watching. I'm joking, of course. Thank you all very much for coming. And this was a fun distraction while as many people as I could possibly get joined the stream, because I don't want to start super. I don't want to miss it. So there we go. Right. Oh, here's the thing. I've been, as some of you might know, I've been working on my opening, the new opening video, and here's one I quickly made. Using the picture of me that I use on my live streams a lot. I made like a 3D ball thing out of it in After Effects to do this. I shouldn't use that, it's terrible, but I also think maybe I should just fucking use that one. I'm like weirdly happy with that stupid video. But I don't know. That's me. So that's kind of what I got going. I'm going to put the credits in here, and that's like a long and boring thing that I can do later. So that's something that needs doing, and I'll do that before I upload it. People are saying please use it, but I don't know. My instincts, my finely tuned YouTube instinct are telling me, it's too ironic. People find that weird. But at the same time, you pay me to do this, and someone in the chat, one person said use it, so, I mean, basically I have to now. So I've got a list of some of the notes people have given me, changes that I should make, and other things that I thought of. So something that got pointed out to me is, in case you're not aware, I have this very long joke about black firebombs here, like, anymore. Instead they use black firebombs to... Oh no.
Black firebombs?
What a garbage option.
So, like...
Why would anyone ever pick that?
It goes on so long in retrospect. I just shouldn't be allowed to talk about Dark Souls anymore. Someone should just fucking come and stop me before I make another fucking idiot of myself. Could someone please stop me talking about Dark Souls? This just goes... So, my reasoning there was... initially, when I wrote this, my initial thing was like, the Master Key is the obviously best choice. Like, that's never going to change in a speedrun. It unlocks, like, easy doors. It's the choice. All the other things you can choose from, useless for speedrunning. That was my opinion when I started out. I'd written in the script, black firebombs. Stupid. In fact, even stupider that in the intro they tell you they're more powerful than a standard bomb, which you've never seen. Like, what does that even mean? Stupid. So, then, as I, like, documented the progression, I realised, oh shit, they use the black firebombs to beat the first boss quicker. And, like, my whole life is a lie. So I thought, I have to incorporate that in there and make an idiot of myself and, like, put that joke in there. So I just go, oh no, I'm just going to have that be it. And then I was like, but I could have my own words ironically come back, slowed down. And then I was like, I could, while I'm shooting the live stuff, get a shot of me looking really annoyed or like weird, just like aghast or annoyed with myself at the revelation or something. And then it kind of spiraled from there. While I was shooting that, I was like, oh, I'll just get progressively sadder. And then I thought, oh, I'll reach out and just grab the mic and whisper weird shit into it. And then when I was editing that in, I was like, oh, I could cut to a test card because it's like so much has happened. It's like we've cut the feed. And then what if it cuts to me and Smoog and it just zooms in and the sound, one of the boss fight things. Basically, this is the thing, like when you're making a video, you are sitting with an idea, or often a set of ideas, a script, or video on a timeline for a very long period of time. Like, I've had this video in my head in some form for like 3 months now, like in this almost exact form. So you add to it. You go, okay, this joke has to be good because I don't find it funny anymore. I'm like throwing things in that I'm like, this is good again. It's good again because I don't know if half of it's funny because I've been looking at it for hours and hours and hours. So I'm down to literally. You just saw me add a fart joke at the end, and laugh at it because like that to me is a new thing. It surprises me in a piece. So, like, this joke is like a full, like, 30 seconds, maybe, of just me continuously layering more on a joke that wasn't that good anyway to try and keep it surprising for me. And the reason it wasn't surprising was because in addition to me being bored of it, it's also not as funny as I thought it was. So, I'm probably going to cut it all out. I think it might be funnier. Because, like, you can see the progression from, like, oh, I'll make fun of, oh, this happened, I'll make fun of, oh, I'll do that, I'll do that. And then eventually it comes all the way to this. And what even is this? Like, this isn't even a joke. Like, it's just, like, random shit that I think will be funny. And it's funny to me because that bit wasn't there for 99% of me making the video until, like, the last bit when I was cutting the live stuff in. So, like, it was funny because it was like, oh, that's different. But that's not really a joke. So I'm like, I should probably cut that out. Are any of the starting items really 100% useless, or do they eventually do something useful? They're useless in the context of speedrunning, usually. Some of them have their own actual uses, although the pendant, I think one of the pendants literally has no effect, except I think you can trade it for something decent from the crow, but it's a useless item to, so it's funny to read that out. So the black firebomb is obviously useful because you can kill bosses faster with them. I think that's about it. The Master Key is only, like, useless if you pick the Thief because they start with the Master Key. So I literally don't know. I just made I tried to make the fart sound effect in real time. I do that sometimes when I make a throwaway comment. I'm just if you want to shorten it down, just say cut to the slowed down voice laid over your face. I thought that too, but like it's one of those things where for some people this joke will go on too long and it won't be funny and it'll actively annoy them in a way that I then have to fight to get them back on my side in the video, the context of the video. And I don't do that. I just continue on with my point. I just kind of labor this thing onwards. So it's kind of maybe funnier if I just did like, let's briefly entertain the possibility of this just being all gone. Like just firebombs to... This just goes to show... Like, in a way, there's a purity of just... In fact, like, in a way, like, let's just elongate that out. Let's just do that. Use the master key anymore. Instead, they use black firebombs to... This just goes to show how much... like, in a way, it's like... That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Like... Oh... I don't know, like, that to me is really funny, but it's also incredibly... You could just do a hard cut. I could just do a hard cut. Do the overlay. Or I could, like... He's like... Because when you're editing, you have, like, infinite possibilities, so you sit here making weird jokes yourself over and over, and you pick the funniest one. But it's funny to you in the context of having worked with everything, so it's really hard. And, like, when people laugh at a joke that I can't find funny anymore, I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God, it was funny. I just didn't know anymore. Yeah, so when people quote lines from Sherlock or the Fallout thing or any like of my other stuff that people think is good back at me, I just can't help but think, oh, thank fuck. Like, I had no idea. So like the Doomfist video is like the video I did, I think early last year? I forget now, it's been so long. And like, looking back, I'm not happy with any of the jokes in that at all. But they felt about the same as jokes in a lot of my other videos felt, and it took time for me to go back and like to measure like people's general response to it to be able to go, okay, yeah, that was this didn't land, and like I just have no way of knowing when you've done this for so long. Anyway, instead they use black firebomb. Like, what if I just did? What if it was just that? Like there are like infinite. It's fun. And you get to have the fun time watching the experiment with all these different permutations. But we want to pick the right one, so I'll just keep reading the chat and you let me know what you think. Okay. Anymore. Instead they use... I'll just like cut the sound off there. So like... Master key anymore. Instead they use black firebomb. This just goes... like I think that's quite funny. It's a lot funnier to some people than like 30 full seconds of me going, oh, I'm not very good at this, and kind of making this self-conscious nod to the fact that there are flaws in some of my defenses of the Souls series and some of my criticisms of 1 and like stuff like that. So like, and I clearly don't know as much about Dark Souls as I should do when I talk about it so opinionatedly. So there is this like, there's that nod to it which makes it feel important, and then there's the test card thing, and the test card joke comes back later, so cutting that out is like, I have to cut that one out because that one doesn't make any sense. And it was like, there is all that, and that was a bit funny. The first 8 times I thought of something new to add to it, but is it funny? Is that a funny joke to keep coming back to? Will people go, I remember this bit, this is good? Or will this be funnier? Or at the very least, like, Sean said in his review of Ghostbusters, something that really stuck out to me. He said, like, bad jokes prey on good jokes and eat them like vampires. I think that's what he said. And his point was, when you're editing, you have the power to, like, any joke in a video is, alters everything else around it, which means that in editing, you have to remove the bad jokes or you're hurting your good ones. Am I saving my other jokes by cutting that out, or am I hurting it by cutting out a joke? Like, I'm not sure. People seem to think the hard cut's only funny because you know what's there before, and it's generally pretty good. So that's kind of encouraging because it means that I kind of was on the money when I made it, but I took one of the comments. One of the patrons made a comment like this was, you know, I didn't find this very funny. I'm like, well, I should think pretty hard about it then. In that case, I should be able to justify it to myself that it was funny. So I'll compare. They use the master key anymore. Instead, they use black firebomb. This just goes. Like, I find that funny. But so if you're watching this and you think that's funnier than the really long thing that's going to be in the final video, because I'm going to hit undo and undelete it, then welcome to the fun zone. This is your validation. You saw me find that funny and strongly consider cutting all this out, but now it's in there. This just goes to show how much... The long silence is a lot funnier than the hard cut, but the long silence seems to be funnier than the long joke. That's true as well. The long silence is also good. Can develop. The ones... Oh yeah, so that was... So I'm going to watch this again because I'm curious to see if it holds up to me now when I think about it, like compared to the other ones. Oh no.
Black firebombs?
What a garbage
The sound effect on it
option.
is pretty good.
Why would anyone ever pick that?
I just shouldn't be allowed to talk about Dark Souls anymore. Someone should just fucking come and stop me before I make a motherfucking idiot of myself. Someone, please stop me talking about Dark Souls.
This, like, cut after garbage, maybe? Like, the more I think about it, the thing I did quite enjoy doing was having it so that as I was saying, why would anyone ever pick that, victory achieved fades in. Also, here's a fun thing to show off. I've got an adjustment layer here with Lumetri color attached to it, which I use to fix my white... Look how disgusting my face is before I white balance it to look like it has color on that fleshy meat. Like, I'm disgusting. Look at it. There. So... Oh, but anyway, body problems with my body image aside, what do you think? Please do not cut that. The card is so funny though when it comes. Yeah, that's like it. That like is like it justifies it just because it comes back later in a Mirror's Edge joke. But I do really like that there is a purity of instead of these black firebombs to. That's it. It just. Oh. I like both of those jokes, but I'm leaving this one in because I put more effort into it, and like it's just that I like be grabbing the mic. I don't know. It's just they're both really good, and this is the thing. Like there are no easy decisions in video editing. It's not like fighting in a war, Okay, so that was one of the big things I was thinking of cutting. Another thing that I have cut already. Preemptively was there's a comment towards the end where I say like, hey, the speedrunning community is pretty welcoming, there's like a lot of trans people in it, and I think that's like a good sign of it being more welcoming than a lot of other gamer clicky spaces, but like that felt disingenuous because there's a lot of examples of people being kind of treated poorly by the community, and a lot of like, so like it doesn't like Narcissa Wright and Super Magical Girl, I think is her name. Like, there's enough examples of it not going well for people that it feels disingenuous to bring that up. It feels like I'd rather not. I'd rather not knowingly, accidentally imply that it's a fully progressive thing and nothing bad's ever happened, which is like, I don't want to be doing that. So I thought, I'll cut that out. It's better than. Because then it's like I'm saying, oh, it's generally good when it's not for everyone. So yeah, I don't know. That's my thinking behind that. That's the thing I've cut, and I wish I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I think the speedrunning community is generally really nice, and there's a good lesson about community management. Proto Magical Girl, that's right. Yeah, like in speedrunning, like speedrun.com has. Essentially, it's moderated by members of the specific community. So each game has a different set of mods who are sorting it out, and they sort of have the rules in place. So like, and that's a really clever thing. Like, there's a lot of angles to it where I feel like the specific way the community manages itself allows for it to be like just better to people than a lot of other gaming spaces are, which are usually like, oh, it's a big forum and everyone's there, and there's 4 mods and they're asleep, and half of them are, half of them are just pieces of shit. So like, it sucks, and there is room to make the observation that the community is generally better to people, even marginalized people. But I can't say, look at that. Can someone with that face get away with saying, "Oh, it's good"? Like, I have no idea. I haven't experienced what half the people, you know. I just it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be right of me anyway. Sorry, I thought a lot about this. I fretted a lot about, like, I said this thing and it's basically a lie because bad things have also happened, and then I have to like somehow make it make an argument that doesn't count or something, and like, why would I do it? So it's, anyway, yeah, I got all up in my head about that for hours after putting the video up. Some people, you know, made some comments on Patreon saying, it's, you know, there's bad stuff that's happened as well, and it is like, I don't know. So basically, while it is a generally better community, I think people can agree with that. I can't make the more concrete stances I would have liked to have made, and that sucks. And the speedrunning community still obviously has a ways to go based on the obvious lessons that have come to light. Anyway, being as nuanced as possible. Like, there's a whole video in community management lessons from speedrunning, but like, it's not my job to make that. There are people whose job is to, like, think about this stuff, and like, actually, how do you make a community that works well for the people in it? And I want them to go out on the limb about how to run a thing, because I'm terrible at it and I can't be trusted. So yeah, so that's my long array of thoughts on that. Yes, what else? Okay. So this means I can keep in the segment where I just where I do it again with Mirror's Edge, which I'm happy with because I liked that. I liked that it came back. That, like, kind of, I think I added that because I was like, I've got to justify that ridiculous thing. What if it happens twice? Then it's okay, because then it's like it's weird on purpose. So then people think it's clever. I'm like David Lynch. Sorry, I'm kidding. I am smart, so obviously I love Eraserhead. I'm sorry. What was the other, like, major thing I wanted to make sure I had? Okay, the other thing was, I feel like I rambled enough about... I rambled a bit too much about... Look Outside says, I honest to God forgot there was a Mirror's Edge sequel until I saw this new vid. Yeah, like, same. Like, I haven't put a joke in there about that because I think the idea that anyone has actually played it is already a funny enough thing. But, like, yeah, like, what a shame that is. Like, I still haven't played it, and I actually love Mirror's Edge. To the point where, like, I know stuff about Mirror's Edge that is completely pointless, that you don't even, like, you would not learn it. Like, I've bothered to go back and kill NPCs who are meant to be unkillable in the, like, run away or get shot sequences, and I've beaten them, and, like, learn things like their weapons are designed not to fire if you have them. Like, in the first couple of levels, when guards come out and go, ah, if you manage to get them, which you can, because the game is, you know, you've got skills, you play as a ninja, it's great. Like, if you take their gun, it will not fire, and Faith will just throw it away. And, like, that just, it's there, like, inbuilt, like, okay, if for some reason you actually manage to take these guys who you're supposed to be running away from out, we don't want to reward you by making the rest of that fight easier. And I find that, like, weird. Apparently, according to Gumba Master, Catalyst is a good game. I will have to take your word for it, but I'm going to eventually play it, I hope. Maybe soon. Maybe tonight. No, not tonight. Ignis Rex says, I was really disappointed by the sequel. Well, that's a shame. I feel like there would have been a lot more buzz about it if it was really good. Like, people would have been like, it's back. The thing about Mirror's Edge 1 was, like, even if you didn't enjoy it all that much or thought it wasn't great, and I must admit it's not perfect, there was something to it that you wanted to see explored again. You wanted to see more of it. You wanted to, like, figure it out. You wanted to whittle it down. And the idea that no one wants any more Mirror's Edge now that a sequel has actually come out says a lot, in a way that's like, oh no, it's a really cool, like, sub-genre of thing and they fucked it up, but maybe it's good. I should play. And I promise I will eventually play Hive Swap, I promise. But something that I saw another comment about. I try and ask as many people to criticize me as possible, so I know what stuff to take out of a video before it's done. I basically rely on you now as my critics, because I'm basically like blind to what's funny and what isn't anymore, because this is all I do. I no longer have experiences or a life or a sense of humor, just this machine. That's not true. I really love what I do. I hope it's clear that I'm joking. I sort of ramble on multiple times about whether or not something is Mirror's Edge, like whether or not I come across as maybe a bit more critical of the any % run of Mirror's Edge than I thought I was, and I think I said the same thing enough times that I can take out a couple of those things and the piece would be generally improved. While making the same point, because a lot of people came to me and said, actually, the idea that speedrunning is like an arbitrary thing is that people agree on, and that's fine, is like good. So I've got to do some very clever surgery here, and also got to fix it by like moving the soundtrack around, which I just used the Mirror's Edge soundtrack for half the video, and then I used the Donkey Kong 64 OST. I used some of Zoe Blade's music, Zoe Blade, formerly of ContraPoint's music, who I basically stole. Zoe also did my new opening, because I thought it'd be cool. And my original intro music, by the way, is done by Codependent of Gutless and Codependent, the band I played earlier. So there's that. What about... See, I've got to do that. I'm trying to think of what else there was, because I feel like there should have been more. The other thing is like a really finicky thing that it will just chat while I do it, and we can just waste, so we can waste. It's just a time wasting thing that we can do. Also, I should change the title from like Speedruns Are Awesome or whatever I called it before to Speedrunning Is Awesome. I think it's just a better name. Sean gave me that one. Delete the segment with the firebombs. That's done. We decided not to, but we decided to meditate on it at least, so we can like make fun of my horrible fuck up when people hate that joke when it properly comes out. Okay, so Mirror's Edge runs. This is going to be one where like you're going to hear a lot of my voice. This is the kind of annoying thing I have to tolerate all the time. I'm sorry about that, but I've got to figure out what bits to cut out, and I don't remember what bits I really wanted to cut out. So watching it is like, take for example the out of bounds glitch or oob. Plenty. I feel like I want to use that. Like, I like this, bringing it up, because there's out-of-bounds collectibles later on, so it's like, this connection, you're like, I've already explained this, and this comes up in the next game, but I don't do anything with that yet. I also think, like, oob just popping up isn't as good. I might, have it appear in the abyss, like, I'll show you. Level, and use this to get to play. Like there, and then... I'm also going to have it move around, so it's going to start out there, like that, and then we're going to go position scale. It's going to be like over there. Oh wait, oh it's not that kind of position scale. That's the text one. Oh jeez, this is going to be more of a pain than I thought it would be. Okay, so. It's going to start out like there. And then like... Let me turn away so it's like... Let's go there maybe. And this is useless. Like... I'm just going to like move it around a little bit. To get to places meant to be reached. Through slower or harder means. There we go. So like if I just have it there for a while, just hanging out, like, just like there, and then as they go there. I don't really know what I'm doing or why, but it's marginally more interesting than just having the text pop up when I say oob. You got one for motion sickness during the Mirror's Edge segment. Oh good, that's a really good point. I will add that today. I'll make sure that you're watching so that you know. So you know I did it. Boop. There we go. Oh, something. There.
to get to places meant to be reached through slower or harder means. This can be used very egregiously to bypass.
I just think that's a little bit more interesting, you know. Gotta warn for motion sickness, yeah. I'll do it here. It might be bad for you, brain. I know, it's white text on a white background. I'm getting to it. Black stroke. Everyone's favourite. There. Is that good? Is that, like, making fun of it in a way that's not productive? I don't know. Am I blinking weird? Sorry, I have contact lenses on, and I've got, like, my new contact lens solution arrived, so it's a different kind of liquid that's in my eyes all day now, so my eyes feel a bit weird. Also, I always blink. What am I kidding? I literally always blink like this. I'm just weird. There we go. A really useful tool if you like editing. Get one of these. They're great. You can use it to like rock back and forth, and you can adjust the speed as you tilt it more, and you can go frame by frame. It's really useful for, like, let's say you want to go 1 frame back. Beep. It's just like, it's way easier. And there's a bunch of buttons. Like, it's been a boon for editing. I don't really know what a boon is, but you know, that's what matters. Because if you click through the end, sometimes it doesn't actually take you to the last frame. It takes you to the frame afterwards. So it's like, that's not really what I wanted. Is it brain or eyes? I don't really know how motion sickness works. Is that also kind of want to alter the distance of the text, like if this makes sense, like oh, I can just make the text wider. No, it's this one, isn't it? It's the distance between the text, like that. Can you just do that? Yeah, no, it doesn't do that. Yeah, that's fine. So we just put that at the beginning of the clip, and then just
game very close to my heart, to the point that I've speedrun it before as well. If I'd bothered to submit the run to speedruns.com, I'd is that good? Okay, officially be in 201st place. That's not a joke, by the way. I did do like I'm gonna run as fast as I can, and like I don't think I showed in the video, but basically 203rd place is like Xbox, so like it's a step down in terms of your ability to control the game. So like I would be, if I'd submitted it, and I don't even think I have the recording anymore, I would be the worst person to ever have submitted a speedrun for Mirror's Edge on PC. So, you know, that's my life. Oh, this is my outtakes folder with all the bits that I decided not to use. Oh yeah, here's a whole thing that I should probably show off now that it's here. Before I have to do the hard bit of deleting clips of a thing I haven't properly listened through yet. There is a bit in... Where are you? Here we are, yeah. You're probably wondering, like, there's that bit early on when I'm, Donkey Kong, by the way, I bought that in Australia. I found a Luigi for like $2 in a charity shop and was like, I'm going to bring this home with me, and I flew it back in my bag with his head sticking out the whole way. They searched it in China. They were like, we need to search your bag, and they saw the Luigi and were like, we have to search you in case you might be a capitalist traitor. 64 is a game by Rareware for the Nintendo. So like, that is a chocolate orangutan or something. It's like a Thornton's chocolate thing, and I would always get that for Easter as a kid. I thought, that'd be funny, and they were like 3 for £15 or something, or 3 for £10 in Thornton's. I was like, I'll get one of those and put it in the video because it's a monkey. And I don't know. So I thought it'd be funny just have him there, just as a piece of set decoration. And then I was like, what if I melted it
with a heat gun and then realised I didn't have a heat gun, I just had a hairdryer. Later on, like as a reaction to this nonsense, so I was like, what if it fades in and it, like, just, like, I can't believe I did this, just, you know, this, like, thing that sped up and then Titus fades in, just, like, more nonsense to kind of add to this joke. And what this is a comp of, what is it, like 4 seconds of also sped up footage, 410% sped up footage of just like that melting. But of course, what that doesn't show is the full-on, like, 40 minutes of me trying to successfully melt this monkey. Which, you know, I got 2 angles of it as well. You can see the hairdryer. I lost my heat gun, I'm not sure where it is. So it's like, I got some just random shots of the monkey, and then I discovered that on the highest heat setting it blows over. So I was like, I need to find a glue gun to glue this down. And then I decided not to, and just to, like, be more patient with it. And then I just kind of kept going. I just made a horrible, horrible mess of it. Just, like, what am I even doing? I think at some point in the video I said, what am I doing? So this happened, and then, like, the saddest part is when it actually collapsed, when I was, like, just continuously spraying it. As I did that, I put it on, like, the highest setting to try and make sure it was there, and I had 3 of my, like, big lights on to try and light the thing evenly, and, like, all the power goes out just as it's collapsing.
Oh my god, the fucking power broke because of... Oh, jeez.
Like, that's genuinely so annoying. So...
The force of all of the lights.
Yeah, this is me talking to myself while I film about this horrible event. So I think what I did was I put the lights back on and just used a lower setting to just melt it into the table. And then, because I thought, oh, this will be cute, I'm so sorry you have to see this. I crushed it in my hands and, like, just played around with it. I made some, like, slapping noises for my sound effect folder. There's flies. Oh, that poor monkey. I'm gonna do a little heart, which I thought, oh, I could maybe use that as, like, the ending card, and I still might, but so much explaining would be needed for anyone to get what that is that it's like, I can't really use that. I just want it to be fun if I just go, look at the end, must have been clever. Yeah, just have it, you know, cut to, like, thanks for watching, and then to Zoe Blade's, like, end card, which I'm using because of the music she did. This is way later when it was hardened. So that happened, you know, it eventually went hard. I couldn't scrape it off. I realised it's chocolate, so I had to, like, get it outside and melt it off and wipe it, and it took ages. And yeah, so that's actually cleaner than it's ever been now that I'm done cleaning it. Anyway, yeah, that was my night. Made in Korea, wow. That's a Samyang lens, by the way. They're pretty nice. They're like good lenses, but they're each from side channel wet and messy fit. People are leaving watching this. So yeah, so this is, like, the other angle I got, and I think this is the angle I ended up using on it. Yeah, that's the one I used. And this is also, you know, the power went out. Whenever it went out, I forget. Maybe I turned it off? I don't remember. This is a bigger camera that, like, lags my machine trying to edit it because the codec isn't as good as this one. I also cut out 15 minutes of me ranting and raving and bits about the speedrun, like, other glitches and tricks and speedruns that I was like, this is interesting, but it's adding to the length, and it doesn't go anywhere for the in the, like, the narrative of the story. You know, initially I was like, here's a list of all the cool glitches, but none of these were really necessary, and I kind of thought it was funny to have the joke of, like, I could tell you, but that's not enough anymore. And that's kind of, so that was the angle I went. I don't know why I decided to put references to Titus Andronicus in this. You know, beguile my sorrow, that's like a line from it. The banana thing isn't, but it's blue and the banana was blue, and I don't know. I thought it was funny to lead into that. That's my reasoning. I thought it would be funny. I need to actually put the link in the description as well. Yeah, so the Mirror's Edge thing is what we'll do next. I will quickly go to the bathroom though, because I need to do that. I'll be right back. Bye. I love you. Donkey Kong. Hello, friends. Harry, make your bed. No. Never. I will never make my bed. Oh, there's a microphone on here. It's a bunch of books. I was testing out this mic. It's an SM58. It's just like a decent stage mic sort of thing. I was like, wonder if this sounds alright plugged into my setup. It just doesn't. It sounds terrible. They need way more of a boost and just... There's more background noise. It's not worth it. So, the two main things I want to do are change the labels around, because you can see in like early bits, I'm like, oh, here's the thing, it'll just pop up. And then towards the end, I got clever. I got smart. I went like, where are we? I'm like, it's kind of cute if you're watching it in like slow motion. Just the twitch thing comes in, and then this goes. It's just, that's just a nice little thing. I think that's a bit nicer, and that means it kind of implies, so you know who it is, so people have been credited properly, and then in the description I can link to the video. I don't have to flash up the whole name of the thing, and that actually gives away which run is which in times when I sometimes don't want it to be too clear, but then the runner always knows when they're being referenced and all that. I think that's a more clean way of doing it, so I'm going to replace all of the earlier text stuff with that, which is just an annoying pain that takes a little while. So I'm going to do that in the middle of a stream, and maybe answer questions while I do it. Who knows? But first, I have to find the bits of the Mirror's Edge segment that I feel like are worth cutting out. When is that? When does that happen? I don't know. This video is a little bit loud on my speakers now. I'm not really sure why. By the way, for those of you interested, I try and do my audio so that the peak amplitude is just over or just under -6 dB, which I've heard is the proper way of doing it. Usually I was like, it just has to be under 0, because 0 is clipping, so I'm like -0.1, so a lot of my earlier videos are louder. And then I saw Lindsay Ellis does like -6, other people do -6, some people do -3, and then audio is, the background audio is just kind of really quiet. I think like I could be better at my use of music and my music mixing. I feel like I generally am just like -32 max, and I've done little things where I've like opened up other people's videos in Adobe Audition and like measured how loud their like loudest voiceover is versus the background, like when they're quiet, when they're not saying anything, where the sound is. So there's a bit where I'm silent here, and well, so this bit, well, like that bit where I'll be like looking up to see how quiet that tends to be, so I know how to set my audio. Basically I steal, you know, so I've got a folder full of other people's videos where I listen to their sounds and see how they do it. And that's like a good trick if you forgot all of the lessons you were supposed to learn in film school, or you did a less practical course and are now learning it all, you know. So yeah, that's my advice. Steal. From me, especially, if, you know, steal anything. People, you know, been using the video titles I used in a video all the time, and I can't even say they stole them because, like, it's incredibly unoriginal of me, so, you know, steal. and it might sound good. By the way, this is a 2.2 litre bottle of water because I drink a lot of coffee and gotta be hydrated.
You're taking your sweet old time.
Runners have that literally happened as well, like while I was crossing it. The game has a flag here for if you do this really quickly, it goes, well done, you're making record time, but I took so long getting to it that it was like, it's terrible. I just think that's a funny, pretty convenient that happened.
You do a balancing act as you walk across.
Like, I didn't even have to offset the audio, like this isn't even me going like, moving it around so it's the exact right time. That's just how it came out.
You're taking your sweet old time.
Runners have reached the point where they leap onto it in a straight line and don't fall off, and then turn and do another jump off of it, so they never have to do it. It's incredible. Playing Mirror's Edge as fast as you can.
A thing that I was pretty happy with when I did it the first time was this tape rewind sound effect. Normally when I like cut back to something, I'll just cut back, and that was originally what I did, but I was like, no, I could have it reverse, and very quietly play like a reverse, tape reverse sound effect when it's rewinding.
Real speed game. This runner just executed a trick so quickly at the beginning that you probably didn't even see it. Right?
Like, I just think that it's quiet, it adds to it, but it doesn't get rid of, it doesn't like, it doesn't go over the sound of me talking, like it's just loud enough. And how loud is that? Peak amplitude -6. The loudest it gets is a little bit quieter than my voice, which is perfect. That's what you want. -23 dB. So I turned it down by 23. So the original thing of it was like this loud.
This runner just executed a trick so
like that's obviously not good enough. So you know, a bit quieter.
Quickly.
I keep thinking it should need to be even quieter, or does it need to be even louder. I think I kind of got the ideal spot. I don't know. I use headphones that are fairly balanced, so it'll sound okay on most things. I used to edit with like really crappy Sony headphones I got for like £10 a decade ago, and that meant that it sounded fine on my headphones. It sounded really good even, but everyone else it sounded crap. So going back, that's why all my videos sound bad, by the way. So if you want to edit videos, the only thing you really shouldn't skimp on is headphones, or the way you listen to it, because that sound with video, yes, monitors have different colors, but if it's footage of a game or of you, you're probably going to look okay. It's footage of you on a standard thing, and the game will look the same, whatever. The sound will be different on everyone's headphones. Like, getting the volume and mixing properly is really good. I've spent a lot of time and energy trying to make my vocals sound as good as possible in post, and that like matters. So you might as well be able to hear it properly while you're doing it, or it's all for naught. There we go. Get some good headphones. I use I believe they are KRK KNS 6400s, which are really nice. I used to use the Status Audio CB1s, which are a bit less bassy, and I think even more balanced, which is even more gooder, and they're really soft as well, so I tend to recommend those over these. But they broke once, and I started using these, like, they broke, and I was going to replace them, and then I started using these, and was like, these are actually fine, so.
This is one of my favourite tricks right here. Normally this pole, like, you
genuinely,
have to...
when I saw this trick being performed for the first time, I was like, holy shit, you can just jump across that, it's incredible. I thought the like, cleverest you could be on this bit was you could jump, like, I think I do it in the video, you could maybe, like, jump onto it, and then walk the rest of the way. Like, that's pretty clever. You save some of it, you have to walk all of it. But on this, they just rock it across, do all the, like, in the video, like, in this bit, let's do the thing. Real project, yeah. Project. Let's actually watch it in the actual thing where it has audio.
Nice work, Faith. You're making good time.
Like, he even you know, the character is even complimenting them on the speed. In the place where they're telling me I'm being really slow as shit. Like,
nice work, Faith. You're making good time. Celeste's almost there. Just keep heading towards the comms tower. Give her the bag and she'll take it from there.
This is the glitchless run as well, which is just like my favorite. So there we go. There's so many cool tricks in this. Like, this is the classic trick that like everyone knows. Even I knew it when I did my speedrun. You jump when you kick, and then you kind of land in the doorway, so you kind of recover faster, and then you can immediately do the side hop thing, which they do here in the doorway. They just go, whoop. It's beautiful. I love it. The color design in this game is really cool as well. Just the use of reds and blues and whites, and presumably there's other colours in there, but those are the main ones. So it's very cute. I think a colourblind person might actually have an okay time with Mirror's Edge, especially like I think you can make a colourblind mod for it pretty easy, where like it's really stark in a way that I think could be, yeah, it could be good. You could do something really interesting with this game. You could make it really colourfully interesting. I think some of the time trials got really cool and like abstract. I think that was rad, and they should do more of that. Hopefully that's in the new game. Probably won't be.
What does it mean to speedrun Mirror's Edge?
Like that is video essayers shit. That is like fucking pretentious stereotype of thing. Just the text appears. I was almost gonna have it be like masked by the door as it comes in, but I was like, nah, that's the stereotype. That's the thing that I find, like, I try and not be like that by being just a little bit more like opinionated and silly and weird to try and like counteract the kind of smug pretentiousness that is actually underlying everything I do. But that is like, that's a bit much, but it kind of works. I don't know. I do worry about being pretentious, and the answer is I am, but I'm getting better and better at like hiding it, or accepting it at least.
Take, for example, the out-of-bounds glitch.
So yeah, we did
Use this to get to places meant to be reached through slower or harder means. This can be used...
So that's a bit nicer.
Mirror's Edge has multiple...
bit nicer than not doing it. Which is the same as the other joke that we cut out. You know, it's a bit nicer than having not done it.
Game, including any percent and glitchless. In any percent, you can be treated...
So this is the bit where we need to do some editing, because it like goes on and I repeat myself, so it's
to a faster run of the game using a lot of technical trickery to run across surfaces in weird and impossible ways, accelerate far faster than was probably ever intended, abuse a bizarre mistake in the wall run kick programming that allows...
This bit's fine.
You to jump on one frame right afterwards, like they had a double jump or something, slide into parts of the world you were never meant to see, and
okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna take a sippy. Sorry about that. Anyway, so like with this bit, I feel like it'd be funnier if like something like more like some like weird music started playing here or something that was just like, because this is a nightmare. It'll be funnier if there was different audio. Also, I do kind of love the way it looks on that, where like each like couple of frames of the kick is like, whoo, that's just so cool. It just looks neat. All right, but what music should we use? I mean, the easy answer is a piece of music that I've already got, which is like something from Bloodborne, and that'll come up later, so that'll be pretty funny. I could always like do like Paul stretch on something and just have it go. Paul stretch is you can slow something down so much that it just becomes a weird noise, and that's kind of fun to do. But I don't know, let's listen to I have the Bloodborne OST just downloaded here, so we could just put this in somewhere. Let's just come up with something weirdly horrific to happen in the middle of just all this stuff happening. In fact, I kind of know what I want to do. There we go. This is the Gascoigne theme, which I do use at another point in the video. Gascoigne. I love all the weird names for Gascoigne I come up with. Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy, that's a good one. I haven't heard that, actually. I haven't actually played Yoshi's Island. Let me put it on. Oh. Music. Oh, it's the fuzzy. Oh, this is, I think. Does this get weird partway through? Or... I've definitely heard this music before, but I don't think I've heard the fuzzy version. That's alright, but what I'm thinking of is during the Gascoigne theme before he transforms, like as he's transforming, it goes from like this kind of generic brr, 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 and then there's this chanting, and then after he's transformed, it gets to like a more like, oh, now a thing's happening theme. And it just kind of gets faster. I think that's really excellent sound design in that fight. Gascoigne is like probably the coolest fight ever, like as a training exercise. It's beautiful. I love it. Anyway. Yeah, so like that chanting, this might be really loud for you as well, by the way. Sorry about that. It's like, it'd be really funny just have that happening while this like horrible nightmare's happening to Faith. I don't know, let's have a look. Let's see how it would go. You can even see I use it later on as well. Rise and 18? I think it'd be good. Let's... Ever meant to see, have an LSD trip nightmare as every frame of Faith's movement is suspended before her eyes, and climb through... That's a bit much, I think. Yeah, it's not... But I like the idea of it. So... But the... Yeah, the touch fuzzy, like the actual Get Dizzy theme is pretty good. I should use that. I think. No, it's so funny. Is it actually funny? Again, let's. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna maybe turn it down a little bit again, just because like I feel like it would maybe be too loud. I don't know. Bit much need other music. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Meant to see, have an LSD trip. Have an LSD trip nightmare as every frame of Faith's movement is suspended before her eyes and There's also room in there for a good joke of like having something weird fade in. But yeah, there is do I have Paul Stretch on this computer? Don't come up, please computer, don't have anything weird pop up when I type in Paul Stretch, please. Actually, I think I have it in my programs folder. Paul Stretch, yeah. I'm gonna... Oh yeah, I slowed down the boss fight music from Sonic into a 3-hour song that sounds like this. I kinda like that. Let's put that in. That is a 2 GB piece of sound. When was that? That was like 2 hours in? Yeah, let's generate the peaks for that. But I think it's a good joke. Let's just quickly go ahead and do the obvious thing of like... you know, in, out. If we speed this up, you know, if we make this the length of a song, what happens? Not great. Maintain audio. Oh, you can't do it for something of that length. Okay, speed. How fast can you do that with? How many percentiles do I need? Like, Paul Stretch makes the thing incredible. Sorry. Oh, thank you, Parker Creel. More money for fart effects videos. Thank you. My wife and I were huge From Software haters. We started Bloodborne after your longest video. Now we're diehards. Also, we got Stone Cleric Beast for 2 weeks, then beat Gascoigne in one try. That's fantastic. I beat the Cleric Beast first or second try and then died to Gascoigne like 1,000,000 times, so you're ahead of the curve on me. I'm glad you liked, though. How fast, how many percentages can... No, 1... I kind of want to hear how it sounds, like, as if it was... Because once you speed it out and, slow out and speed back up, like, maybe something interesting could happen with it. Oh, that's not doable. It's fine. Fuck it. Right, here's the comp where I made these that I use. Anyway, yeah, sonic.wave. I like that. It's just a bit... It's unnerving. Her eyes and climb... And like... Have an LSD trip nightmare as... There we go. So like this, and then we have it fade in, and we make it be a bit quieter, so it's not ridiculously loud. Every frame of Faith's movement is suspended before her eyes. And also as this happens, I'm gonna speed it up as well. So I mean, increase the volume. Ended before her eyes and climb through moving elevators. That's not loud enough then. So let's do the more clever thing and set the gain to 0. Have it be negative 22 and then louden it up to the default right at the end. And climb through. Have an LSD trip nightmare as every frame of Faith's movement is suspended before her eyes and climb. This is not an exact science, Have an LSD trip nightmare as every frame of Faith's movement is suspended before her eyes and climb through moving elevators to shoot. That makes like... Is my voice not very clear in this? Or is it because I've turned it way down? Oh, I've turned my thing way down. How does it sound to me now? Have an LSD trip nightmare as every frame of Faith's movement is suspended before her eyes and climb through moving elevators. Yeah, this gets a little bit loud at the end now. I had my headphones turned down for some reason, which kind of... You need to kind of set and forget your headphone volume when you're doing this editing stuff, because that way, like, you have a one setting, and that means I have this set to the setting I have it on when I listen to everything else, so I know, like, it should be good at this volume. And if you turn it down or up, you fuck up the whole thing and ruin your video. So don't do that. I turned mine down, I think, because I knew something loud was going to happen with the Sonic thing. To see, have an LSD trip nightmare as every frame of Faith's movement is suspended before her eyes and climb through moving elevators. Part of me wants it to be like, have the words "there is no God" fade in above the horizon. I feel like that's a bit mean. Oh. There we go. So, there. And showcases some amazing tricks and moves, but it's also maybe not the sort of stuff it's fun to see specifically in a speedrun of this type of game. This is obviously highly subjective, of course, but the community seems to agree with me, so I win. In around 2013, they introduced the glitchless category, which specifically prohibits using major glitches that alter the flow of the game in this way. Glitchless runs don't go out of bounds, don't abuse the weird extra jump you can get from kicking off a wall, and prohibit a few other specific tricks that some people might deem against the spirit of Mirror's Edge. Glitchless has never and will never be faster than any %, but to me at least, it's even more entertaining to watch. Runners in this category are navigating through more of the intended world of Mirror's Edge, which, for someone who played and really liked the game, is a way more interesting challenge. All kinds of segments that are completely avoided by fairly easy tricks in any % have to actually be played and routed properly in Glitchless. I was always a tiny bit annoyed. So I feel like this bit specifically is not necessary. So, really, really well. And that's way more fun, at least to some people. Let's compare just one. So I could get rid of that. ridiculous. Let's compare just one jump across both categories. Here's the entrance to the RPA building in the second level. This jump is one of the first properly tough jumps in the game. It's a long distance, but also involves downward traversal. You have to approach it at speed and jump really late, but also roll when you land or you get hurt. Either rolling or taking damage is really slow. A runner doesn't really want to do either of those things. In the current glitchless world record, the runner Wreck executes an incredibly skillful maneuver to take full advantage of this rail here. So they land on the rail instead of the regular ground, which prevents them having to roll or take damage, but they also turned in mid-air and executed a side. Cool. It's really difficult to do. I can't do it. And most importantly, it's a trick.
The footage of me trying it is so takes so long to play out that you can't even cut it into this edit.
That fits the parkour feel of the game. Here's the same part in the. It's really, really cool. It's really difficult to do. I can't do it. And most importantly, it's a trick that fits the standard. This is really, really cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Can I get away with can I just cut that out? Would that cut away?
Cool.
Nah, it cuts too quickly.
Really difficult to do. I can't do it. And most importantly, it's a trick that fits. Here's the same.
I really don't like this. The
fits the
parkour. I think that's a bit too much. That's a bit pretentious. And, yeah.
Difficult to do. I can't do it. Here's the same part in the current any% world record by Philotrax. Trax abuses the wall kick jump to effectively fly over this challenging gap, landing safely on some of the game's trademark white plant furniture stuff. It's faster and definitely a cool trick, but it kind of avoids the intended mechanics of the game in a way that's a little less.
I feel like this hits harder because I haven't repeated it the first time anyway.
I don't know, less Mirror's Edge. They just jumped off thin air to avoid having to do a jump that's only difficult or interesting when you can only jump once. It's interesting and cool and faster, but on some level it feels like it lacks something compared to the kind of tricks achieved in the glitchless run. Extrapolating tricks like this across.
Yeah, I feel like if I cut all that out.
Extrapolating tricks like this once. Extrapolating tricks like this across a full game run makes.
I feel like that's a little bit better. It works better in a way that is hard to describe. But it's it fits. Hey James Crutchley. Hey, how's it going? It's just more. It strengthens everything by removing the parts that don't work. It's one of those things where the bit on its own is fine, but in the context of everything else,
you can only.
Editing is like being a painter, only requires much less talent.
Jump once. Extrapolating tricks like this across a full game run makes for two very different and uniquely interesting paths through the game to watch. I think I enjoy glitchless a lot more because it feels more in keeping with the game as I feel like it's supposed to be played, which is of course massively subjective and doesn't matter to a lot of people, nor should it. I mean, Philotrax's version of this segment was
this is just
demonstrably faster, and some people might prefer seeing a game get abused and messed with a lot more, and normally I tend to as well. But it's a game with such a specific sense of infuse to let go. Earlier I asked the question of which category should.
Yeah, I feel like I could just cut there. I could just the I refuse to let go thing isn't very funny anyway. It's just you get it. I'm being subjective and I know it. I've made that joke so many times already. It'd be better to just not make it at this point.
Extrapolating tricks like this across I think I enjoy glitchless a lot more the game to watch. I think difficult or interesting when you can only jump once. Extrapolating tricks like this across a full game run makes for two very different and uniquely interesting paths through the game to watch. Earlier I asked the question of which category should be considered the real speedrun of the game.
I don't think I think the extrapolating thing is that's worth pointing out, these things happen over the course of the whole game, the whole thing's different, but there's also I then go right to earlier I asked what the real thing is. And maybe I could just go directly to that. I don't know. You should let me know. But I don't think there's an objective answer, at least for most games. Even in Bloodborne's case, using bugs that were patched out later, this is a version of Bloodborne. I like that I caught this as well. This is a glitch that was
that was fixed as well in the later versions of the game, I believe. Released, and it beats the game as fast as possible. And a Mirror's Edge, maybe clipping through walls should be seen as just as valid a strategy as not doing so, but everyone gets to decide for themselves how to figure out what a speedrun needs to be. And usually there's going to be enough people who feel that way that it's going to end up as a speedrun category. And the Mirror's Edge community has come up with quite a lot of categories over the years. There's much more healthy competition when there. Yeah, I feel like that makes the whole thing stronger. I'm going to listen to it a few times.
Downward traversal. You have to approach it at speed and jump really late, but all top speed when they landed. This is really, really cool. I can't do it. Here's the same part in the current any percent world record by Philotrax. Trax abuses the wall kick jump to effectively fly over this challenge, but it kind of avoids the intended mechanics of the game.
I feel like even pointing this bit out is a bit silly.
Game in a way that's a little less, I don't know, less Mirror's Edge. They just jumped off thin air to avoid having to do a jump that's only difficult or interesting when you can only jump once.
Like, I feel like I'm trying way too hard to be down on the any percent just because I like the other one more, and that feels disingenuous. Like, I'm trying to make the more earnest point of, like, here's why someone might have a problem with it, but I come down on it harder, so it becomes more like, here's why this one's less good, and I don't like that, so.
Do it. Here's the same part in the current gap, landing safely on some of the game's trademark white plant furniture stuff. It's faster and definitely a cool trick, but it kind of avoids, you know, less Mirror's Edge. They just
I feel like that is kind
jumped on once. Extrapolating tricks like this across a full.
I feel like that is acceptable. Like, that isn't me going too far with it.
Extrapolating tricks like this.
I feel like that might be a little bit better. You tell me. I don't
Across
know.
a full game run makes for two very different and uniquely interesting paths through the game to watch. Earlier I asked the question of which category should be considered the real speedrun of the game. But I don't think there's an objective answer, at least for most games. Even in Bloodborne's case, using bugs that were patched out later, this is a version of Bloodborne that was released, and it beats the game as fast as possible.
Yeah,
and
I think that's a little better, at least.
Produced the glitchless category, which don't go out of bounds, don't abuse the weird extra jump.
Really felt that way too while watching. Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad that you're backing me up.
Still than any percent, but to me at least,
like, I don't want to be too down on it. I just want to be clear with my, like, here's why people might think different. I don't want to be, because if I'm not firm enough, then it's like, well, it's two different categories, and they're different, and because some people feel like it. So I wanted to stress, well, it's because some games, there's like a feel of how the game should be run, and that requires me to be the best way of doing that is to make my own case for it. But I don't want to push myself into the corner of, like, hating on the any percent run, which is magnificent looking as well, just because I think. But it's more interesting when you can't do some of those glitches, you know, so at least this is definitely stronger just for having taken those things out.
More entertaining to watch. Runners in this category are navigating through more of the intended world of Mirror's Edge, which, for someone who played and really liked the game, is a way more interesting challenge. All kinds of segments that are completely avoided by fairly easy tricks in any percent have to actually be played and routed properly in glitchless. Let's compare
some water.
just one jump across both categories. Here's the entrance to the RPA building in the second level. This jump is one of the first properly tough jumps in the game. It's a long distance, but also involves downward traversal. You have to approach it at speed and jump really late, but also roll when you land or you get hurt. Either rolling or taking damage is really slow. A runner doesn't really want to do either of those. And on the rail instead of the regular ground, which prevents them having to roll. I can't do it. Here's the same part in the current any percent world record by Philotrax.
Here's something quite good to point out. This bit of audio is -5.8. This bit of audio is -5.6. But it's more intense. Like, I think, you know, this was a different. I don't know. Like, I come back with more presence. So I'm gonna start out with this down, like, maybe 2 dB. Like,
I can't do it. Here's the same part in the
because you can see at the very end I'm a bit quiet. Like, yeah, -10 versus -6. So you want it to be down just a little bit. Just a little bit until I start to get quieter again, like around here. Like maybe -3. And then this guy I'm going to get back to 0. And hopefully that's not too noticeable.
Do it. Here's the same part in the current any % world record by Philotrax.
There we go. So if I adjust that just a little bit more, -3. -2.7, so I can pretend that I picked that specifically. You love the 80% of the game so much more. Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't want the game. I want to make the point that there's a reason why people might prefer one over the other. I don't want to actively piss off people who prefer the one I don't. Like, that was me messing up, so I'm glad that I've kind of avoided that assertion, so thank you.
Do it. Here's the same part in the current any % world record by Philotrax. Tracks
just maybe a little bit louder. It's funny how I'm like slowly making it louder, so it's even less of a... But when it comes in, it's just like a little bit too much. So
difficult to do. I can't do it. Here's the same part in the current any % world record by Philotrax. Trax abuses the wall kick.
There we go. That's fine.
Safely on some of the game's trademark white plant furniture stuff. It's faster and definitely a cool...
I don't like this breath I take.
Plant furniture stuff.
Just gonna turn it down.
It's faster and definitely a cool trick, but it kind...
You get really self-conscious about breathing when you do this for too long, but I'm usually good at ignoring it.
Trick, but it kind of avoids the intended mechanics of the game in a way that's a little less, I don't know, less Mirror's Edge. Extrapolating tricks like this...
Obviously that's like a highly subjective thing, but I feel like I've made the point that that is highly subjective at this point, so... I feel like that works, but that'll be one I'll be struggling to get away with.
A cool trick.
My instincts are telling me to do something about it.
But it kind of avoids the intended mechanics of the game in a way that's a little less, I don't know, less mirror.
Oh, slow chat? Oh shit, I'm sorry. I didn't do that on purpose. Hold on. Enable... Oh, slow mode. I'm sorry. Done. Yeah, fixed. Sorry. Wait. Yeah, slow mode should be off now. There we go. Sorry about that. I didn't realise that happened. I didn't even know that was on. I think I might have turned it on when I did a live stream on here for everyone one time recently.
Cool trick, but it kind of avoids the intended mechanics of the game in a way that's a little less... Extrapolating tricks like this across...
But it's a very big... I could even record a new line. But it's a bit... I'm trying to think of like a way that makes my point in a more or less mean way. When will we play Endless Legend? That's a really... I'm sorry, I've been so busy all the time. I don't know, like fairly soon? I need to reinstall it. I uninstalled it because I forgot why I had it installed. Soon. I'm bad at 4X games though. They're like, I've never successfully gotten into them, so that'll be quite nice to give it a shot. We should get some people involved. I'll try and get someone else on as well. Okay. What about...
Cool trick, but it kind of avoids the intended... It's faster and definitely a cool trick, but it kind of avoids the intended mechanics of the game in a way that's a little less...
I could just say, but it's such a different approach to running the game that you kind of want to have both.
I don't know, less Mirror's Edge. Extrapolating tricks like this across a full game run makes for two very different and uniquely interesting paths through the game to watch. Earlier I asked the question of which category should be considered the real speedrun of the game, but I don't... It's the intended...
At the same time, if I make that point once, I think it's okay. So that means there's an earlier time I should do something else about it, maybe.
And climb through moving elevators to
love
shoot
that.
up frame of Faith's
Just that.
eyes, and climb through moving elevators to tricks and moves, but it's also maybe not the sort of stuff it's fun to see specifically in a speedrun of this type of game. This is obviously highly subjective, of course, but the community seems to agree with me, so I win. In around 2013, they introduced the glitchless.
I win. In around 2013... with me, so I win. In around 2013, they introduced the glitchless category, which specifically prohibits using major glitches that alter the flow of the game in this way. Glitchless runs don't go out of bounds, don't abuse the wheel. One that was released, and but it kind of avoids the intended
That is great. Oh, thank you. Oh, I look so... I'm zizecking, I'm sniffing and wiping my nose there. But it avoids certain... The part after interned. Take out the part after interned way? You might have to restate that. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Sorry. Because the whole it feels less Mirror's Edge thing feels like I'm taking it too far. Intended. Ah. But it kind of avoids the intended mechanic. Definitely a cool trick, but it kind of... It's faster and definitely a cool trick. I feel like I need to finish that thought of something. Oh, sure, sorry. I can't spiel. I spell spelling wrong more than any other word. Spieling. Maybe I don't even have to... Maybe I don't even have to assert that. The whole, like... It's faster and a cool trick. Like, that's kind of obviously faster.
By filler tracks. Tracks abuses the wall kick jump to effectively gap, landing safely on some of the game's trademark white plant furniture stuff. It's
like, maybe I can just go...
Extrapolate.
Like, maybe I can just do that. Like, maybe that simplicity is better instead of me trying to overthink a thing to replace it with.
Extrapolating tricks like this across a full game run makes for two very different and uniquely interesting paths through the game to watch. Earlier, I asked the question of which category should be considered the real speedrun of the game. But I don't think there's an objective answer, at least for most games. Different and very different.
When that door gets kicked, I think that'd be a good time to... make it get faster again.
For two very different and uniquely interesting paths through the game to watch. Earlier, I asked the question of which category should...
I think that's just fine. That just is better. I feel like the point I'm trying to make that I've made already. I've made better than I could say again. It's fine.
Be considered the real speedrun of the game. But I don't think there's an objective answer, at least for most games. Even in Bloodborne's case, using bugs that were patched out later, this is a version of Bloodborne that was released, and it beats...
Yeah, I think I prefer that. It's just more clean, and I think that also cuts out a bit of time, because this video does go on a bit, so...
The game has come up with quite a lot of...
There we go. I'm happy with that change. And it still makes the same point, and I think that point was good. People say they liked that part, so... Yes. Okay, cool. The last thing is just, I have to do the credits on my own time. That'll take ages, and I've got to do a lot of text moving stuff around, and copy and paste names, and remember messages from people telling me to change the names, so I'll do that later. But I do want to move those labels around while I'm here, so let's get that sorted. I also should just have the labels up whenever the person is playing the game in general, so we'll do that. Where are you? Whee!
I can declick my mouse wheel and do that. Here we are. So I love this footage,
themselves
by the way.
breaking their cartridge to make sure it was over.
So this is my DK cart.
This run, like, that actually took a bit of work just getting it to like flow properly. Like in the actual thing, he's like, you know,
And this is a hammer, right?
he's like, there's like a whole thing.
So there's
that I
my
cut out.
DK cart, right? Right? And this is a hammer, right?
I feel like, also it was desynced in his original thing. So I did a bunch of work making this thing into a thing for the video. It's fucking this cartridge up so bad. Also, a thing I didn't notice, fun fact, the American version of the cart is banana yellow. Or maybe that's the Japanese version, I don't know. I should have a thing really quickly pop up like, fun fact! I could even do that. I could have it just pause, like, here. And just feel like, bing! Like, pause and just have my voice go, fun fact, the Japanese version of the cartridge is banana yellow. I'm being nice. Just have it pause on this, like, horrible screenshot of nothing. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. I'm going to quickly check. This might crash my stream. What is the difference between the colours of Donkey Kong? Would be a not zero kiosks. The yellow card standard retail version. Oh, yeah. In North America, the retail versions of that'd be a funny joke to just okay, cool. I think that's a good idea. And also, I have a bunch of like Ren and Stimpy use a lot of like classic like sound database music that anyone can legally use. I think it's public domain now. Vintage instrument tracks. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I like, and I can legally use that. I feel like that's like, I think. Let's find out. Let's see if I get sued for using it for a couple seconds. Let's see if I get sued. That's my modus operandi. Source music. Rentim. I tried to type Renstim and I accidentally called it Rentim. .mp4. There we go. Did I accidentally? Nope. Oh, you can see my face. Sorry. There we go. So I could even go like effect controls. Beep beep. Nah, it's better just keep it on the thing. I could even have it on the last one, so it yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. That cut was like really weird and finicky of me. And debut audition. Fun fact, the dead corpse of this game was yellow. Here we go. Okay, yeah. Move the mic into the frame. I use the CAD E100S, by the way. It's going to be just out of frame. Fun fact, did you know? Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the Donkey Kong 64 cartridge was grey, but the US retail version was banana yellow? You learn something new every day. Let's have that pop in, and that happens, and then it gets hit again. Yeah, okay. I've never seen Ren and Stimpy. I was just like, my partner just found all the music that was used in it and a bunch of other stuff, and it has the Ren and Stimpy thing on it. I know nothing about the show. I've never seen it. Fun fact, did you know? Scan, repair clicks and pops, so I don't have to do as many of it. This is how I edit my audio. Fun fact, did you know? Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the fact, did you know that the PAL version of the Donkey Kong 64 cartridge was grey, but the US retail version was banana, but the US retail version was banana yellow? You learn something new every day. That's beautiful. We're just gonna have it cut partway through that. Fun fact, there we go. And now to use my special sauce, voice mastering. Wah! Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the Donkey Kong 64 cartridge was grey, but the US retail version was banana yellow? You learn something new every day. That's pretty good. What if I just did the... What I do is a special source of parametric equalizer, compressor, dynamics processing, and another compressor. And it's like, that would be a bit much for this, because I am pretty close to the mic. I would have a lot of presence, and the way I do it like increases my presence by compressing it down a bit more. So maybe I could just do... that's not it. That's the thing that kind of ruins it half the time. Filtering EQ, parametric equalizer, and I have this just the generic vocal enhancer thing. I used to use the loudness maximizer and just increase these, but I feel like it was a bit too bassy, so I just use whatever it is now, vocal enhancer, which just cuts out a lot of the bass and increases the high presence thing. And then let's compress to -6 so it doesn't ever go over -6. Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the Donkey Kong 64 let's quickly do the clever boy thing and actually go do this one and then paste it and see if we can tell a difference. They look exactly the same. Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the Donkey Kong... Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version... Sound exactly the same. What was the point? What was the point of any of that? There's no point at all. Why did I do any... It's so stupid. What a waste of your time that you pay me for. So go to funfact.wave, paste it in, put it in the voiceover thing, you fool. So then on this one we just have this go, boop, frame mold options, in. Fun fact, did you know that the... I'm going to have it mid like collapsing from being hit. I think it's like there. There you go. Fun fact. Doesn't really... Yeah, that's the point. Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the... Go rent him, go. So this is like my idea of how it should go. Day. New every day. Like... Let's see how this looks. That one of them fucking streamed themselves breaking their cartridge to make sure it was over.
So this is my DK cart.
Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the Donkey Kong 64 cartridge was grey, but the US retail version was banana yellow? You learn something new every day. This run is challenging in far more ways than the... New every day. This run... It's just... It's so stupid. Oh god. I shouldn't laugh at my own jokes, but I did just see that for the first time. Do you think I should maybe have it zoom out a bit so it's like... So that last hit, because that last hit is a bit up close. So I could be like... People can see it more that way, I think. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe also how much height. Oh, that's not gonna do it. How much height is left in this? Oh, that's the age of the frame, so I might as well keep that like that. Yeah. Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the Donkey Kong 64 cartridge was grey,
Oh, it's funny
but
up
the
close.
US
Okay.
retail version was banana yellow? You learn something new every day. This run is... Okay, I'll undo my changes. Copy and paste the motion back over it. Beep. There we go. This run is challenging in far more ways than the
Also,
traditional...
you'll notice that there's like one extra frame of it before it gets hit, so we'll cut that out. There we go. Up close is funny, like super close.
Yeah, 3 different layers, that's nothing. There's like thousands of layers in Adobe After Effects for some of this stuff. In fact, it crashed trying to do it, so I made a joke out of that. They can stream themselves breaking their cartridge to
I'm
make
actually
sure
quite
it
happy with this joke. How loud is this?
Negative 5.4 was over.
So this is my DK cart.
Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the Donkey Kong 64 cartridge was grey, but the US retail version was banana
So
yellow?
stupid.
You learn something new every day. This run is challenging in far more ways than the...
I love just how like earnest I sound in that as well. I bet there's more hits. I bet I took a bunch of hits out just to like not have it go on too long. Yeah, here we are. Here's some more hits.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah. There we go. One more hit. There we go. That should be good. Maybe even turn it up as well. I'm gonna just... -4 and then -2.
Free day. This run is this...
That's like too loud actually. Probably shouldn't do that. Oh yeah, that's why I think I cut them out, because it was so like deafeningly loud, that bit. How's... There you go.
every day. This run is...
Ah, it goes too... That goes way too quickly now. What have I done? By gum. By gum. Oh, I'm turning into the stereotypical Yorkshireman that I know in my heart I am.
This run is...
Be a little bit longer. I shouldn't have cut any of that out. It was like silly of me to even do that, really. Turned out it was good.
This run is...
Yeah, it's fine. That's like a good... I'll just get it. -4. Just a bit loud. Yeah, that should be okay.
This run is challenging in far more...
I'm even gonna make it zoom in even further for that last one. Just ridiculous. Just fucking... Just go in on it. It's like in the far corner of the frame at this point, so you can just zoom all the way in. On this guy's video footage of his thing. I'm getting a lot of use out of it. I feel like I've added to the joke of him smashing his thing now. I really like this clip.
You learn something new every day. This run is challenging in far...
It's funnier again now because it zoomed in. It does add to it, actually. Adding to the zoom does 100% add to it. Yeah. Just zoom in a little more of this one as well. Maybe 700? Yeah. It has to be like visibly closer than the last one, I feel.
This run is...
Yeah, it's good. And also, like, I really like that it like starts to like fly off the... It might even actually fall off the table at that point. So that's like a really good place for it to end, for that clip. Hold on, let's see what happens next. Let's just quickly check.
This run...
I don't think that's gonna work anymore.
Oh, there's more hits. Oh, we could do even more. I've been watching you develop this joke for 10+ minutes and I'm still laughing. This is how this works. This is what I do all day. Does he bring the camera in on it? Yeah, it probably does, but it's so zoomed in at this point. Yeah.
This run is... This run is... Now, that last one's like... It's less funny when you can see the cartridge at that point. It's more funny that it's like... It's like falling over. Yeah, it's fine. That joke is now 100% done. I'm glad I came up with a fairly funny joke while I was editing. That kind of makes it worth the 2 hours of you watching this. Thank you so much, by the way. But anyway, I came to this clip just because I wanted this bit, that thing there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go V5, V6, so it's not in anything's way, most of the time at least. And copy, and there we go. So now when I paste, it will paste into that. So then I'm going to go through and put all the names in for stuff. But first I'm gonna go for a waz. I'll be right back. Do you think he's wearing pants under that robe? I am, yes. I'm wearing my pajama. I'm wearing my pajama bottoms. Oh, he's gone. Time to talk Aww. Hey, well, until alone, I'm glad, like, it's nice that people are still finding me out, that I'm not, like, I haven't exhausted the well of people who could potentially like me. That it's just, you know, I'm reaching more people. So it's kind of a nice, you know, your existence is kind of a good sign. But yeah, I wish you'd found me way earlier. You could have been having a great time with me. This whole time, watching me make the fart joke, which I think you were there for this. Just they love, or you know, watching speedruns. So here's the thing that I'm going to show you is me being obsessed. They can spend time with the people they love. That clicking sound, I hate it. Reveal in Explorer. I'm going to open this in Audition, and I'm going to fix that. DQ runs of Dongo 64, which are anything that could be exploited. One day when messing around with types of run, and even if the app tries best possible support work that helps keep people alive so they can spend time with the people they love. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They love. That click. Ugh, I hate it. I noticed it all the time and I hated it. Now I can obliterate it. Love. It's not enough. Gotta get rid of more. You can in Audition. You can. There's 2 clicks in quick succession, and you can just fucking do this. You can fucking delete them, or you can use heal to try and fix it. There we go. All they love. Ah, bliss. All they love, or you know, my mouth is not clicky and weird now. All they love, or thank you, Adobe Audition. My self-esteem is back. No one will ever hear that bizarre mouth click except you and everyone who watched the preview version. I don't hear anything. Oh, did that? I only hear the clicking clacking from your keyboard. Oh, have I set the output wrong so that you can't hear the Adobe Audition stuff? Let's check. This is one of these things that I don't hear anything. I made a mouth click. You didn't hear it? That was... Oh no.
Was this scene really in need?
Okay, it does play. Okay, I'm glad. That's yeah.
To make Gaston kind of sympathetic by implying.
Yeah, so this is one of the things I use to like check if I'm getting my sound thing properly. So like these high bits are like when they play music loudly on purpose or when they talk loudly for a joke. The actual general like peaks you can see, it generally comes up to but not under, up to and just occasionally over but mostly under that line there, -6. They're just a little tiny bit over, but that's basically the highest they get in normal speech. And then if you zoom in real close, you can find out instances where they're not talking, the background is just playing. And that...
emotion.
Oh, that's not it. That's not the one. That's like negative 36.
By logic.
So that's how
By logic.
that's how I figure out how audio balancing works. I listen to someone who does it better than me. You never hear the mouth clicking. Well, good. But once you start to hear it, you'll never stop hearing it, and it's ruining my life. I did it then. Yeah, so you get really self-conscious about this stuff. There's a guy called David Chang or something who occasionally does videos about like his computer setup, and his mouth is so clicky and it's hard to listen, and it's awful because I don't want to hear them. But once you do, you're like, I've got to take these out, I've got to edit these out, I've got to start drinking more water, I've got to be careful what I eat so I don't make the clicking too much. I want my voiceover to be perfect, and that's just what it does. Kurt Lewin's 3-step change. I don't know what that is. I don't actually know enough about socialism. Or, you know, watching speedruns. I forgot about that until it happened. That made it funnier. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Should I put a face in the background, like just my face going, or something? Fun fact, did you know? Oh, Ace, I will watch your videos, and I will learn to be tolerant so that I can finally listen to you without being angry. Oh, we did the thing, didn't we? Yeah, cool. Now we can finally go like this. As it fades in, just do this. Just go like bam, and then on this one we're gonna go text. Gotta get this right. Oop. Already fucked it up. Eight, 2, 2, 9, 7. I know that off the back of my hand because I love this man. I love this boy. He's not a man, he's a boy. He's quite young. He's younger than me. There we go. And then it can be all like 7 minutes or like. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. Happy with that. By now you probably know what a speedrun is already. There we go. So if as long as I keep this in, that's like I've acknowledged who he is, and then you know, and then you can go to his channel, Twitch, and I can link the video itself as well. That's fine. Amazing, and just fun. And speedruns of some games frequently get millions of views. This clearly matters to a lot of people. So there's probably a... I'm gonna quickly do the thing. Oop. Copy, and then undo. So now I have the early intro. These are kind of shown... By the way, this is like an actual thing. That's the actual script. I just, recorded myself typing a new title into it. By now you probably know what a speedrun is. That's where players commit. I just cut out the bit where like some of this was added later than this version of the script, so I just like cut off that bit. There's actually way more that I just don't use because I do a lot of editing. Video about it. Speedrunning is really fun to watch. And look at the disgusting face, but look how much more disgusting it was before I fixed the white balance. Wow. There. And stories about speedrunning are consistently fascinating, and I really want to talk about why. And no one's managed to stop me so far. I changed the colour to purple, didn't I? That means I could probably make the blue a little more blue. What do you think? What do you think? I need to think of something with this intro, because this video is not done until it's done. I'm going to change that right now. Adobe After Effects. Intro proj. I can make the blue nicer. Hooray! We'll have to change it on all of the things. Character. Beep. Maybe a little brighter. Don't know. It's a little better. It's better than nothing, which is what I currently have. Maybe I should add a nice texture to the background so it's a bit less bland. But I also like how simple this one is, because this is just going to be the one I do for video game things, and I'll use like a different one for non-video game things. I think it's all right. Beep, 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 beep. That's fine. It's fine. It's probably okay. I can live with it. There we go. I had a thing where I wanted to add a thing where I describe banana medals better, where I'm like, here's how banana medals are, and here's some pictures of them. But I think it's cooler that you kind of see one for the first time when the secret one comes out. And also I can't be bothered to do that bit. I don't feel like it is a necessary change, and it's more work for me to establish something that is established already by me talking about it. It's generally There we go. Well, this is me, so I don't have to do that. I could have a thing that says me lol, but... And here's the things that I'm replacing, so... Boop. What's their name again? That name is hard. Harder to remember. Bang! Captain Toynon. We got it. So then we can just go like that. Bam! Didn't even know it was the 8% world record. To watch. Owing to the game's inaccessibility and the time investment required to get good, as it were, watching someone blast through them is just plain fun. What's interesting in a more
put it in the top
way
left because that goes over the counter.
Speedruns,
the counter isn't the important part. I could, however, just make it go down a little bit. That's at least... There's nothing there in that corner, so yeah. Let's do it. Oh, and because of the way I've aligned this stuff, I just have to make this one go down like that. So if I... Does this work? I forget if this is how this one works. If I have both keyframes selected and I go down on this one goes down as well. No, it doesn't. It kind of comes in like that. Why does it do that? I moved it down on both of the keyframes. Fuck you. That's fine. There we go.
This difficulty is...
And then this one I can move this just down on its own. It should just work. It just works.
I'll ignore that here. This difficulty is the prime...
There we go. And if I move this over a little bit...
reason why speedruns of games in this...
There we go. That's
earliest speedrun on record at speedruns.com are fantastic.
I also said the name wrong. Speedruns. There we go. And then we do it again, but with Twilight. There we go.
And there was yet to be much about how Dark Souls really ticked. And there was yet to be a lot less was known about run a Twilight. These run a Twilight.
Oh, I set this up here. I can
Twilight. In 2011, a lot...
How convenient. I did it.
Less was known about how to game easier or faster. For example, in Dark Souls, there are multiple different...
Okay, this has to go over that. So I should probably maybe move... I'll just move this over there. Just invent a new layer.
Different starting classes with their own stats, starting items, and abilities. While some do have unique advantages, the Pyromancer starts with the ability to throw. Because if they're having trouble fighting, they can throw fire on people. I mean, come on. So Twilight picks them. It's not really a surprise. It's kind of the obvious choice if you were to think about.
Beep. That's just clear who the runner is at all times.
It's a gate, and it's pretty clear what item a speedrunner would want to start with here.
I do like that joke as well.
Yeah, it's just the most obviously fast and helpful choice. I mean, look.
My voice gurgles a little bit. That good choice.
Speedrunner would want to start with here. It's just the most obviously fast and helpful choice.
Choice. Yeah. My voice gets all gargly. I'm gonna leave that in there. I don't care.
I mean, look at the other ones. Binoculars, a rubbish ring, a more rubbish ring, pendant, trinket. No effect. Black firebombs? What?
Ah, yes. The joke. The tired maid. And I'm now embarrassed by. There we go. Yeah, these are all Twilight, aren't they? So good.
It's just a fantastic weapon to pick up. But instead of wasting time and arrows, of which they had neither, Twilight simply dodged behind. Souls runs excel in the spectatorship aspect.
And this is Captain Toynon again, isn't it? So I could just go... Boop, boop. Oh. Is that how it's spelled? I always get their name wrong.
Captain Toinon. Yes, that's right. Expect. In lots of other games, you don't have as much choice or freedom in where to go or what sort of character to play or what weapon to use. There are so many, and, well, it was. The next world record was set 3 months later and has gone on to be the longest standing world record, lasting 13 months. It was set by another Japanese runner, Keita. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. And it's elongated, so Keita.
Keita.
Alright, what's really fun about this run was it there we go, so I've got that. And then I've just got to type some Japanese text into... Right, what's really fun about this... is type in some Japanese text. Oh, you've got to use a title for the thing, haven't you? Yeah. Path immediately. Not only do they start the game with a... Alright, what's really fun about this run was it diverged from Twilight's path immediately. Not only do they start the game with a different class right out of the gate, but it's a lot of busy work, isn't it? A lot of just listening to my own slight improvements. They get up and immediately head in the opposite direction.
Keita.
Goes to parts of the game Twilight never even sees in their run. It gets faster to sort of fit the pacing the way I say it. Can very frequently become a reward. Off the cliff is rewarded with the Black Knight halberd. Okay, it's the funnest thing in this video. Aw, thank you. I came up with that at the last second. In fact, Box Full of Bats watched. I sort of told them the Keita joke how to pronounce it, and then they just kind of like, you should keep it going. I just did. I stole it. The final boss is a Black Knight with a halberd. Gwyn knew what was up. This weapon absolutely mashes most enemies and bosses. Probably times when I accidentally put their name over my footage. No, I wouldn't be that silly. Okay, right. Quit. Could have color-coded the footage, which they can now just about wield if they wield. To run through all this and kill all these bosses than it is to gather the materials required to just skip them. Overall, saved 15 entire minutes over Twilight while killing more. But they've saved even more time by discovering new holes in the game to exploit, like by messing with the camera. There we go. Captain, there we go, got his name right first time. But they've saved even more time by discovering new holes in the game to exploit, like by messing with the camera. Instead, they use black firebombs to... Oh, no.
Black firebombs?
What a gob.
I'll just have it fade out. In the middle of all this stuff, yeah.
It's a garbage option. Why would...
This just goes to show how much... This just goes to show how much a run can develop. The once really obvious main choices have all in turn been superseded. Really happy with the creation and development of... There we go. That's pretty good. Oh, we got that. It's the perfect I'm a dumb white guy help joke that takes the piss in the right direction. Yeah, thanks. That's kind of how I felt about it. My partner is a Japanese translator who is fluent, and I have multiple friends who are not racist. And I asked all of them, hey, is this joke at my expense or not? What a silly language, because you know that's not the joke I want to make. I love Japan. I love Japanese as well as a language. I'd love to learn it properly, and not clearly stumble to say 2 syllables. So that's but it's good. I'm glad you like the Black Firebomb joke as well, because my we had like a good hour-long thing at the beginning with discussing what we should do with that. Yeah, people. That footage of me saying I shouldn't talk about Dark Souls is absolutely going to get clipped out of context by everyone who's ever done
a video about how terrible my video is. You know. Like, 2 of the people who did that turned out to be, like, white nationalists. Or, sorry, what's the term? Identitarians. Like, keeps happening. Not to say that that's why they're wrong, but they were also wrong, and in addition, you know, I'm joking. Yeah, like one of the people was like, "Why I am an identitarian" was their next video after criticizing me, and then they deleted that really quickly. I didn't even manage to get a copy of it, and then the next video was like, "Why I'm turning around on Dark Souls 2." I was like, "You just fucking listened a bit harder to my video and changed your mind a bit, didn't you?" Like, why do I even bother?
Categorization and arbitrarian. No one I showed the script suggested better.
This is...
Oh, I have to admit...
I think this is also Captain Toinon. Yes, this is Impson wrong one. So of course it is. Beep, 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 boop.
There's any percent no wrong warp. Like I said before, most of the normal run is the door without having to open it. The game's DLC added an arena.
Is this my footage or theirs? Oh, no. This is their footage. So if I put this here, I can go bam, bam.
Door, which is why it was kind of a big deal when players figured.
There we go. I'm in love with this new thing, just the Twitch thing in the corner of that name.
Which is why it was kind of a big deal when players figure on the other side of the door without having to open it. The game's DLC added an arena where players could fight each other online. After beating...
That's right. Several people have said you should make a Death Grips thing here, so... Also, cutting on 9 hours of his video. I should have text come and say, "Hey, Mauler, clip this out of context." This is the closest you'll get to an admission of failure. Okay, yeah. That's perfect. Yeah. That's not it. I'm so glad I can finally grip death. I love that. Oh, what is it? Where are you? Music. There's like a Death Grips dog. Dog Grips, here we are. I remember this.
My moods live on that swing sim. Push me harder, push me swang into tomorrow.
Is that an actual thing from Death Grips? I don't remember. I don't remember if that's an actual thing from a Death Grips song or not.
Okay, Sarah, you want to go on a swing?
Oh. Look at him. Look at him. Woo.
Where is the WD-40?
Oh. But I remember this dog thing. It's been so good. So like, I should use this. But I don't remember if that's actually from a Death Grips thing. Or if that's just, if this is like a joke thing from it. I don't remember. But I'd look it up, you know. Oh, it's Death Grips Under Games.
My
yeah.
moods live on that swing sim. Push me harder, push me swang into tomorrow.
Swang into tomorrow is the line I wanted to use. I wasn't sure if that was a real song by them or not. Because, like, it's very easy to make a parody Death Grips song. And I wasn't sure anymore if it was the real one or not. I'm not enough of a fan of Death Grips. I should be more of one. I do like them, I just don't listen to them very much because I have very poor taste.
My moods live on that swing sim. Push me harder, push me swang into tomorrow.
This is This is me being incredible.
Other online.
So what I'm going to do is...
online.
There, so beep. Let's see how that goes.
Wang into tomorrow. Wang.
Wang into them. That's not right.
Swang. Swang into tomorrow.
After beating.
Yeah. So as this goes in, that's like. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be like. I could just like have it. So like there. Oh, that's not it. Rate stretch. That's not it. What are you saying? That's too bad. The incredible match with the Dumo ST. That sounds awesome.
Swang into tomorrow.
After beating Artorias.
I think that's perfect.
Each other online.
Swang into tomorrow.
After beating Artorias, who incidentally.
It's just.
Swang into tomorrow.
After beating.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's just like, yeah. Yeah, I've just acknowledged that someone invaded me on purpose when I had a password set. Like they were like, "I'm gonna join in the battle arena to help you." They made a character called Death Grips, and now it's in the video. I feel like I've done them justice now. Can I post links in here? I think you can. If you can't, type it out, and I think I can post the link. I don't know. Can I post links? Let's find out. I can. I've no idea if you can.
Battle of Stoicism Gazebo, which presumably sounds better in Japanese. When they join the arena through the gazebo, players receive a purple coward.
I originally thought I should have music stop right before I say it, but instead of it there.
Through the gazebo.
What's this?
The gazebo.
Oh, this has got cut somehow. Huh.
Through the gazebo, players receive a purple coward's crystal, which they can use to quit a fight until.
This is all my stuff. I don't have to put anything on this. Yay! It's just me fucking around with my own video.
And it.
Categories.
Clever name. This kind of separation of a run into
Taku Mizune. I'm trying to remember the Russian words that I don't remember. I'm a fool. I'm a fool who do not remember he Russian.
Run. That's a clever name. This kind of separation.
Beep.
Kind of separation of a run into distinct.
Bam. Much cleaner, look at that.
This kind of separation of a run into distinct categories also happened.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a crossfade there instead of a bad thing. There we go.
This kind of separation of a run into distinct categories also happened in Bloodborne.
That's way nicer looking. How do you get any of your PJs and gout? Anyway, I get really sweaty when I'm wearing PJs. I'm just wearing a vest. It's not really
with Gasguacni, and leading to the creation of a route which
someone's going to be like, that's not how you. People still don't quite get the joke,
would
I get them wrong every time.
Actually, only take about 20 minutes, which is utterly absurd. I spend 20 minutes picking a starting weapon. However, Bloodborne.
I feel like that joke doesn't really land.
Absurd. I spend 20.
Because it's like, I don't actually. It's not very funny. It's not true. Cut it out. Yeah.
Absurd. However, Bloodborne was pretty heavily patched after release. Bloodborne was messed up when it came out.
Also, someone said this one, right? So yeah, oh yeah, that's right. I just measured the thing differently. Yeah.
I'm gonna just add a line to indicate my point because it's kind of hard to see what I'm
A
saying.
minute faster to watch in real time.
Yeah, so the real time is slower than the in-game time. That's the point I was making, and it's just a little bit too cluttered. So I'm gonna like there. Red line. Line width. Someone pointed this out, so I thought, oh, I'll do this. Round. There we go. Bam.
A minute faster to watch in real time. Bloodborne was messed up.
There we go.
Faster to watch in real time. Bloodborne was messed up when it came out, wasn't it?
Probably the weapon selection screen instead of your time. Yeah.
Honestly, it's really hard. Getting this footage alone took me like 25 minutes. But if you kind of separation of a run into distinct, which is utterly absurd. However, Bloodborne
now
Acne and
that BBN should go over there. Bam.
Which is utterly absurd. However, Bloodborne was
so should that. Beep.
Times. This makes this run impossible to do on a properly patched version of the game. It also means the version of the game you would play to the current patch. The current fastest 8 minutes slower, it's a minute faster to watch in real time. Bloodborne was messed up when it came out, wasn't it? Bloodborne's a really interesting game to run as well.
Eve Hen. There we go. Eve. Glad you could check out my very tedious
came out, wasn't
thing.
it? Bloodborne's a really interesting game to run as well in general for a lot of reasons, one of them being the Beast Blood Pellet, which adds a meter filled by dealing certain types of damage, and the higher the meter, the more damage the player
Gas Gorgonodontis.
both
Gas Gorthodontist.
deals and receives. It's a bit risk-reward in normal
Orthodontist.
Which one is the real speedrun?
Huh, that now here's an opportunity to do a Gaussian. There's a lot of ways I could do this, but the easiest way is to just replicate that thing that I did. Boop. Wait, Gaussian blur. Bam. Cross dissolve, cross dissolve, cross dissolve, cross dissolve. Shit. Easier than making it into an adjustment layer or something.
Which one is the real speedrun? Why are some glitches and tricks permitted and others not? Shouldn't the goal be to create the fastest singular run and agree? A game that's impacted by these questions in a big way is Mirror. A game that's impacted by these questions in a big way is
Make that go away a little bit. Boop.
A game that's impacted by these questions in a big way is Mirror's Edge.
I like that.
Mirror's Edge is
a... Now, have you? Yes, I have. I've started a little bit of it.
A game very close to my
2 hours
heart,
of it,
to the point that I've speedrun it before as well. If I'd bothered to submit the run to speedruns.com, I'd officially be in 201st place. The thing about Mirror's Edge is, it's a game about moving very quickly.
I could just like... I mean, it is. I feel there's a joke in there. I mean, it is. I feel there's a joke in there. Just bing. Just hope it pauses and go. I mean, it is, right? Like there's, but I don't know if that's just adding to a joke that's already obvious. You know, sometimes I'm not sure because I've heard it so many times.
The thing about Mirror's Edge is, it's a game about moving very quickly. The player character is very mobile.
I think it's obvious that that's a joke.
The thing about Mirror's Edge is...
Yeah. Cool. Press up a little bit.
In 201st place. The thing about Mirror's Edge is, it's a game about moving... Officially be in
200 be in... Just a little bit louder. Continue Sonic body. 201st place. That's a good idea. The thing about Mirror's Edge is, it's a game about moving very quickly. The player character... I could do that, but I don't like overusing the Sonic thing too much. I like a solid divide between serious law analysis and everything else. To avoid infection. Who does the Mirror's Edge glitchless run? I don't even know anymore. Speedrun.com/me. Mirror's Edge. Okay, this is glitchless, which is wreck. Yep. Interesting game to copy, delete. A diverse. The thing about Mirror's Edge is, it's a... There we go. The thing about Mirror's Edge is, it's a game about moving very quickly. This runner just executes, immediately gets them up to top speed. This is one of my favorite tricks right here. Normally this pole, like, you have to slowly do a balancing act as you walk across it. One of my favorite tricks right here. Normally this pole, like, you have to slowly do a balancing act as you walk across it.
You're taking your sweet old time.
Runners have reached the point where they leap onto it in a straight line and level designs and movement mechanics. What does it mean to speedrun Mirror's Edge? There's a variety of interesting glitches available to exploit if you want to beat Mirror's Edge as fast as possible, but some of them significantly impact the way the game is played and what the experience of what let you get oob of the level and use this to get... And this one's filler tracks, isn't it? Philo tracks. There we go. Oob. Plenty of games let you get oob of the level and use this to get to places meant to be reached through slower or harder means. This can be used very egregiously to bypass large chunks of several levels. And this is technically much faster than playing the game the normal way. Through moving elevators to shoot up into darkness. This Faith's movement is suspended before her eyes and climb through moving elevators. I feel like I could almost add like a crushed to death. But the community seems to agree with me, so I win. In around 20... Then glitchless comes in here. And we've already introduced Rex, so I don't need to do the whole fade back in thing. So just... Boop. In around 2013, they introduced the glitchless category, which specifically prohibits using major glitches that alter the flow of the game in this way. Glitchless runs don't go out of bounds, don't abuse the weird extra jump you can get from kicking off a wall, and prohibit a few other specific tricks that some people might deem against the spirit of Mirror's. What an idiot me am. Here. So they land on the rail instead of the regular ground, which prevents them having to roll or take down of this rail here. So they land on the rail instead of the regular ground, which prevents them having to roll or take damage, but they also turned in mid-air. Really, really cool. It's really difficult to do. I can't do it. Here's the same part in the current any percent world record over this challenging gap, landing safely on some of the game's trademark white plant furniture stuff. Extrapolating tricks like this across a full game run. Wait, no, is this Ethan? This is the glitchless one, isn't it? It's Taku Muzin. There we go. There's an objective answer, at least for most games. Even in Bloodborne's case, using bugs that were patched out later, this is a version of Bloodborne that was released. And the Mirror's Edge community has come up with quite a lot of categories over more advanced wall kick jump tricks and stuff. There's much more healthy competition when nice. Oh, have fun time in class, James. Multiple agreed sets of rules to choose from. More people are here, and it's like later on in the thing as well. So like I don't know where you're coming from. Wow, I'm gonna check. If I check my emails, it'll probably crash my internet. So I'm not gonna do that. But welcome, come and go. I'm adding names. Over the years, one runner eventually got a job at DICE and worked on the sequel, which apparently some people even played. So that's nice. Speedrunning is a completely arbitrary challenge, one that most developers never even think to account for. So it's totally fine to have multiple ways. Mirror's Edge Run is the 69 stars category, which is very nice. It's the category for running through all the game's optional time. I'm very happy with the way I say that line. And this is an introduction. What if I paste? The category for running through all the time trials in one sit. Oh, cool. Sitting and getting all the stars. Realizing mechanics the most about ice movement over them. The current #1 record is by Votium? Votium, yeah, that's it. This joke doesn't land if you've already seen their name. Votium? I'm not sure. Who got in? I'm gonna have it come on after they have been introduced. So
Sure. Who got in just a T?
Because then it's like I'm introducing them. I should know how to pronounce
Votium? I'm not sure. Who got in?
No, I don't think I've ever heard them say their own name.
In just a teeny smidge over 21 minutes due to a couple of minor mistakes.
You're kidding, right? Someone is going to beat 21 minutes in this category, and I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. And because Mirror... Oh, 80% inbounds. Who did that one? Oh, it's Black Belt Gungeon Ninja. I'm glad I got him in. He deserves more recognition. He actually has done a bunch of cool stuff, and he was in that one, you know, the guy gets roasted for thing, and like that's all he's known for now. But he's a cool speedrunner. I like it.
Perfectly. There's
He actually does cool speedrunning
that
tutorials.
often
They're
only
really helpful.
even have 1 or 2 submitters, where like runs where one runner uses them.
Very silly. The mouse and another. Those are the things that make the speedrun community look like a big piece of shit sometimes. You know, but they just do that to people. I think it's very mean.
Another uses the keyboard, or where 2 runners each use half of one controller. Honestly, this is just getting silly now. What about a New Game Plus category where players chapter select to the...
That's heck again. It's a good thing you didn't overplay the nice joke. Yeah, thanks.
His chapter select to the last segment and beat it in 13 seconds, and people are genuinely down to counting milliseconds to figure out RBO, reverse boss order, where runners... How about any percent times 25, where one runner has...
I love the music I picked for this from Bloodborne. It's a Gascoigne theme.
Why is it called that? How about any percent times 25, where one runner has...
I think it's like... I've got to like time it a little better, just like... Beep. There we go.
Called that. How about any percent time?
And I'm also gonna have it go up like immediately to this bit. There we go.
Called that. How about any percent times 25, where one runner has decided to run the game in 25 times in a row, which took over 17 hours, and which they openly declare no one will ever beat.
What the fuck are your sidesteps right now? I told you I'm not even paying attention anymore.
Why would you do this, Hekigan? Was your 60 millisecond lead in New stronger? What are you doing to yourself?
I'm gonna make that a bit...
Doing to yourself?
Like...
To yourself?
Like there. I think that might be a funnier, faster cut.
What are you doing?
Also, I could probably do that. There we go. I think that's a little better, a little cleaner.
What are you doing to yourself?
I think that's better. I wonder if there is a Minecraft speedrun. Yes, there is.
This is also where the segmented speedrun lives, with various runners, including Rec, all contributing small segments to produce an absolute...
Oh, can't paste because there's nothing to paste anymore.
Chapter select...
I'm going to do a joke on here. It's like...
segments to all contributing small segments to produce an absolutely...
I'll just have that cut. Just
all contributing small segments to produce an
just have that commit.
Absolutely incredible run. It's a fabulous expression of a community's commitment to beating a game as fast as possible, and their years of developing skills and learning more and more about how the game... It's just great. There's a tremendous...
That's your average Trey's name's right there. Trey. Sasuke Animator's name's right there.
That's radical.
Radical. But speedrunning isn't all... I didn't... Actually, like, this might not be the most, good pick. Radical. I don't know. I think that's fine. Cool. Radical. But speedrun... There we go. I think that's a bit better. Radical. But speedrunning isn't all... There's also like a quick... Like, there, that frame. Get rid of that. But Radical. But speedrunning isn't always about social... Yeah, that's better. That's better. I was going to have people who try and blaze into their brains, skip around the editing process. Yeah, I've rebound F to ripple delete, which is... Boop. It's the only, like, extra key I've ever rebound. I have a bunch of, like, extra ones on, like, my Stream Deck and, like, bound to this thing, but that's the main one. Sometimes it's about beating video games very quickly. Part 3, in-depth... I'm really happy with that joke as well. Radical. But speedrunning isn't always about socialism. Sometimes it's about beating video games very quickly. Part 3, in-depth investigation. Actually, no, I've thought of a better title for this one. Donkey Kong. Very happy with that cut there, just... I love that. I'm very happy with that. You should use that bep noise you just made in a future video. Beep. I do that a lot when I press a button, I go beep. Donkey Kong 64 is a game by Rareware. I might even like add a whooshing sound effect. Donkey Kong 64 is a game... Yeah, I'm going to do that real quick. It's completely pointless, but it's fine. Whoosh. There we go. Whoosh. There. Whoosh. I'm sure I can use them in something. Oh, I can use the disgusting sounds of me eating that I've had for years as well. I've just thought of a place for those projects. Stock. No, it's not stock. Music. Where did I put you? My special sound effects that are all mine. Homebrew sound effects. Here we are. Disgusting. Oh, God. Still disgusting to this day. There, this bit. That bit. One. Actually, let's like turn it all up a little bit. Beep. Compressed to -6. Disgusting chewing dot wave. Then whoosh. There we go. So I've got those two now. Whoosh. Usually I maintain like integrity of my folders for a while and then eventually just give up. Just gonna put that in there. 64 is a game. There we go. Just have that be negative. There you go. 64 is a game by Rareware. Or is a game for no reason. 64 is a game. Maybe whoosh is better. Or is a game. 64 is a game by Rareware. I kind of prefer the 64 is a game by me making a stupid noise. I love it. Disgusting chewing. Gonna put that on the bit where he melts. Yeah, that's not what I want. the world to beguile my sorrow. The world to beguile my sorrow, but the sweet sirens. That last there, just a little extra, just in the world to beguile my sorrow. Oh, it's rendering like a big file at a really fast speed, so it's gonna take a little bit to like make sure it works. Hold on. Rendering video previews. Is that gonna render all the video or the in and out point? I don't know how this bit works. I've had to render all this. Oh, it's doing it. Cool. Let's check this out. I want you to render the in and out point, you fool. Nothing in the world to beguile my sorrow, but the sweet. That's beautiful. It's just yeah. Just a little extra, little spice. I thought, well, let's have a rendering song. Yeah. Please stop using this audio file. Never. Yeah. I won't. I'll never use that again. I promise. I had a sound effect of me just dipping my hands in macaroni for a while, just going, and it would just put it all in. Rendering song. I forget that people do that. Like, that's the thing. I forget that I'm a human who does these things. Oh, banana. Oh, I've got to go back and get the speedrunning thing still going. All contributing small segments to produce an app. Just quickly put that in. Average tray. Blah, blah, blah. This is all me. 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 I do a lot of stuff that's just me, I think, in this bit. I don't think there's any bits by runners for a while. Nice, good. Let's work. This run is Jaguar SSB at the top. I do prefer it at the top. You are such a oh, here we are. Oh, I've got the name. Bunches of 5. Thanks, Donkey Kong. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Hey, but sometimes they come in little. Yeah. So this is the first use of someone else's thing. Bing. Category in. Oh, it's in the wrong place now. You are such. I don't care. Donkey Kong 101%. Who did I use for this? I believe I used Falcon X Falcon, who is cool. They seem really nice. I hope they actually are. Oh no, this is before I fixed the thing. No. Text Falcon X Falcon. Beep. That's not the wrong position. There we go. That's the boy. Runners in this category endure such supreme torments that one of them fucking streamed themselves breaking their cartridge to make sure it was over.
So this is my DK cart.
Fun fact, did you know that the PAL version of the Donkey Kong 64 cartridge was grey, but the US retail version was banana yellow? You learn something new every day. This run is challenging in far more ways. I am so happy with that. It's needlessly just... This run is challenging in far more ways than the traditional run. In that run, your objective is fairly... Oh wait, no, this is... Wait, which one is this? Oh, this is 101%, which is correct. And then this one is Signa Kong, I believe. Yeah, boy, I was right first time. Signa Kong, gotcha. Objective is fairly simple. Find the fastest way to the end, whatever that way may be, abusing cutscene glitches, level skips, moon jumps, etc. Effectively ending up with runs where you do as little as possible. This run's core is having to actually do everything the game asks of you, planning the most efficient... Is this Signa Kong? Let me check. There's a way of proving it. Yes, it is. Their video is a Twitch thing, and this is a Twitch download I used. There we go. Efficient route possible through all of it, and then somehow actually doing it all precisely and quickly. But with hundreds of golden bananas to collect, and some of these can be very challenging, that's 5 hours of time to make mistakes in. 5 hours, and they're amazing. There's a 3-year-old run by German runner through. You can watch. I don't put his name there because his name is there, but at the same time I feel like it would be wrong to not just keep it going. That's good. I do like this joke with the PB thing as well. Oh wait, that's them, isn't it? His runs of this game have led. Holy, nearly 25. Holy shit! The various runs of this game have led players to look. That was an actual response. Like when I was cutting through it, like jumping through it, I just like had my mic going, and then he like made that comment, and I realized.
Boys, I PB'd by 4 hours and 6 minutes. Pretty solid.
Wait, his last attempt took nearly 25 hours. Holy shit! Like, that's a genuine reaction. Something else is, this file, like this MP4, I downloaded it, and it's all those hours, and it would not import into Premiere. Premiere, like, gets really antsy when a video is over 24 hours, or over 20 hours. I mean, there's like a length to how long a Premiere file can happily be. And I was like, well, fine, in that case, I'll record myself watching through it. I'll just record the screen and watch as much of it as I can bear and kind of get through it, and then made that out of it. And at the end, when he got the PB, I was like, oh, so I had to cut that back in.
In 6 minutes, pretty solid.
Holy shit! The various runs of this game have led players to look very. And also, like, I did more editing on it because it was like originally I record with different audio tracks, so I got to like use that as an actual piece of voiceover, which I was really happy about. Holy shit! The various runs of this game have led players to look very closely. I feel like maybe the ear goes a little too long. Like shit. Maybe like there? Maybe a little closer. 25. Holy shit! The various runs of this game. I think it might be a little. Maybe I just would have cut this bit out. Holy shit! The various runs of this game. Yeah, maybe just like a little. Just frames. Holy shit! The various runs of this game have. Shit. 5. Holy shit! These cuts are like. There's an art to them. There's an art to making an easy joke by cutting a sound effect off. Shit! The various runs of this game have led play. I think leaving the reaction in a little bit, like, because that was a genuine reaction. Players to look very closely at almost every aspect, even going so far as using hacking software to analyze. Oh, it's recommending you summoning Salt's video for Mario Kart Wii. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Code in detail, looking for anything that can be exploited to make runs. Is this is Falcon X. It's faster. Cool. Enter Isotarge. Isotarge is a maybe instead of having to redo all of this stuff, I should just. Oh wait, that goes over it, doesn't it? Yeah. It's like once it goes here, I'm just going to do this. With a really respectable time in the any percent category, but it's also the really cool. Enter Isotarge. Isotarge is a runner with a really respectable time in the any percent category, but it's also the long glitches and holes in world geometry in the game, including this image of a Rareware employee's face hid. The face is like there, and maybe I also want to nest and add like a black background to it, because otherwise it's not got the like necessary zest. It doesn't have, like it's got transparency on it, so like it would kind of ruin it otherwise. So let's put that there. There we go. And then I just gotta like crop it in again. This image is like, someone found it once in the past distantly, but otherwise this has like rarely ever been seen. Like, this is a cool find. There we go. That's way better than image of a Rareware employee's face hidden inside the game's files, which looks like it's been edited in Game Boy Camera. But they've also found stuff like this. How do you know the exact video? It just came out. Also, I know all about Something Salt. I'm a fan. Like this coin hidden in a wall in Mario 64 that someone actually figured out how to get. And since these items exist well outside the intended scope of the game, absolutely collectible, without any glitches, but this one wasn't out of bounds. It was hidden in a place no one had ever thought to check. Hidden in the tall grass in the level. Right about here. No, wait, sorry. Right about here. And there it is. As far as I can tell, this being a revelation of strategy guide from the time period I can get my hands 101% runs or bananas because the game only counts bananas. Kiwi Killer's run doesn't need a thing because he's got the thing written there.
Basically,
pretty happy with this. Oh, and here's our boy. But I'd say who it is, don't I? But it's pretty to just cut this in. Bam, bam, bam. You can also, from me like having these long things over the top, you can see where I use other people's footage, which is a nice way of seeing like the divide between what's mine and what's other people's. I feel like I recorded enough original footage of various games that it feels like my video, like I didn't just use other people's clips all the time, which I was very wary about doing a speedrunning thing. And doing it, I opened this video using... There we go. Beep. That's not what I wanted. Oh well. I wasn't sure how happy I was with the cutting of this, but people seemed to not mention it being bad, so it seems probably alright. Accidentally put a crop effect on. Oh, but should be fine. That's not it. There it is. Of all time. But he didn't have number one. Someone else was faster than him. So he just kept going and going. And you... Is this one of the ones where it's better at the bottom? Nah, this goes over the sub thing. Yeah. So Blaze music is really good as well for this. Someone else was faster than him. So he just kept going and going. And you can... That's weird. I've left the adjustment layer on for that bit. Just make sure that they're being credited properly. I feel like that's important. This took a lot of cutting to get right, but I had a good sort of vision, I guess is the word, like a good idea of how I felt like it would be best to look, and that definitely helped. Like when you have a clear idea of what you want in your head, it makes it more manageable, and it means you shoot for the edit so you get the right stuff. You don't get as much to work with elsewhere, but that's often like better, a bit less clutter, but yeah, like oh, that's right, that's the right place. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and clear why people do this, and what you can get from this. Is this... I could zoom this in a little bit, but I don't know if that's... I kind of liked that I zoomed it out a little bit before. But this kind of... Yeah, this solves the headroom problem. I like this. Yeah, this is way better. Yeah, that's like objectively better than the way I was going to do it. Like that. That's like terrible. I thought it'd be cool, like, oh, if I zoom out a little bit, that like adds to it, but it actually makes it worse, so... Not something written or directed by someone. I didn't bother to angle it properly because I thought, oh, don't need to, you know, because I'm zooming out a little bit, but it's actually fine because it's still further than like when I come in real close, which is me being incredibly silly. Not that bit. Not that. Oh, do I cut out all of it because it looked awful? Oh yeah, this bit. I go in there, so I think if I have to zoom out again a bit, it kind of works. But it's fine as it is. It's fine as it is. You know what I'm really enjoying lately? Oh, I don't know. Please tell me. Tell me your secret. It's not over. There's almost always more to learn about. Oh, nice. Oh. This is an introduction, so I can do this one. It's definitely a more efficient way of doing this, but it's the very end now, so it's too late. And who is this? Oh, is it Cosmic CD12? It is, yeah. I'll just put it there anyway. Cosmic D12? Ah, that's a clever name. Ah, see, it makes sense. Happen. This is probably why so many people tune into events like GDQ and even donate money to support work that helps keep people alive so they can spend time with the people they love. Or, you know, watching speedruns. I'm so happy with that. Oh god. Okay, I have to admit I told a bit of a porky pie earlier. I have one chance to decide to edit out the bit where I consent to doing a horrifically long run of Donkey Kong 64. Like, it might even be funny to have it just go, my life is an empty shell, and then not have to say any of this. Not have to, you know, admit, I'm gonna die trying to play Donkey Kong. Like, I could choose not to do that. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to do a charity stream of Donkey Kong 64 for like 2 years, so this is an excuse to introduce it. Fucking do it, says Ace the Degenerate. Do it. Okay, well, the people have spoken. The patrons have spoken. Look at that face. What an ugly boy. Not like me. And I'm also going to quickly make this into a thing. Because Zoe Blade put a ton of effort and time into making the music and stuff for the intro, and then remaking parts of it because it was like an actual warning message sound effect, which is really bad to use. So I think I can repay the favor by, like, I'm going to make a nice little, here's the music thing coming in, you know. I feel like that's just a nice, an extra thing to do. Instead of just having it fade in or just appear, I'm going to quickly go new solid. Let's make it kind of neutral grey. There we go. That's a good look. Hit T for transparency. That. And then this is gonna. How do I want this? I think I want this to just... Okay, here's what we're actually going to do. Duplicate, visible, lock, and then this one is going to just mask in, I think. Just going to have it go like... There. Mask expansion... Go, and it's just going to go like that, and there we go. Maybe have it be feathered a little bit. 5, maybe 45. There we go. Then this one I'm gonna go probably die live on camera either way, so tragedy isn't sure. Yeah, that's a good point. There's no escape now. This is who I am. Music by now. How's this gonna look? How is that? Oh, yeah, it's not transparent. Yeah, so I can't do that. Music by... Nope, this one. There. There we go. Oh, it is transparent. I just messed it up. There we go. Scale 125. That, and then... Beep. That's my duplicate sound effect. It's not going to work as well as I thought it would. It's going to work, but just not that way. There we go. This one is going to, that's what I mean, start there and slowly scale up for the duration of this, just like that much, and it starts out. A little smaller. Just like, it's a little quick actually. There we go. And then we're gonna do some magic. This is the bit that takes a little while, I think. I could just have it go, have the top and the bottom wings come in, but I kind of want it to like go, just like have each like line come in really quickly. Just have it be nice and simple. We'll see. It's like here. P position like here. 2 more keyframes, and here we go. Sorry, blade, music by. And then you want it to not actually go where the name is, just like here and there. And then this logo needs to not get that big. Maybe just here and have it really slowly ease. Just have it ease in a little bit, just like there. Yeah, and then just fade out there. Like, boop. I'll just have it fade out normally. But what I kind of want to do, and this is the part where it's this like, ooh, a little bit more effort, I'm scared, is on Zoe Blade, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, no, that's the opposite. That's the wrong way of doing it. This, and then what you actually do is you go Z, duplicate. Oh. Oh, what have I done? Oh no. I've duplicated the mask instead of the... Bleh. Done the wrong thing. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. Nope, nope. After Effects. Duplicate. Move this across. I duplicated the wrong thing and that fucked it all up forever. There. You see where I'm going with this, right? This is the kind of busy work that you do when you make videos. The stuff, this is the stuff you don't see. And there's probably another, like, definitely, in fact, a way of making it not shit. Of, like, doing all of this better. But I'm not that clever. And this is going to look pretty nice when it's done, so... Oh, is this really too... accidentally... Alright. There we go. You'll see where this is going. I hope. I really hope you see where this is going after all this. Ah, those beeps. I keep making beeping noises, I'm sorry. This is how you amuse yourself when you do this, you know. You start to go, oh, I'm gone stir crazy. I've got to do something. There we go. So if I've done this correctly, which I didn't several times, these 8 should all be all along each other. So I can now go stagger. If I stagger these equally, it should look really nice. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I'm just going to make it come in a lot faster though. Maybe like 1 frame. Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. I like that a lot. Are you an AEP purist, or have you looked into plugins? I'm sorry. I do use Mr. Horse, which is pretty good, but I've I might just have the music by come in just then. That's the wrong one. Just like, because I can't be bothered. So there. Cool. Could even have it come in instead of, yeah, that's a good idea. Because currently it's, oh, the scale is for some reason going, so I can have it there and have it start out bigger. There we go. There we go, yeah, so if I just have it go like, we go here. Maybe 96%. Yeah, I think it's nice. I think it's a nice little thing. And then this, I think, should maybe be fast to go there as well. Yeah, let's have it. There we go. I've just come in a little bit slower, basically. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think it's just a nice little thing. I'll try and render this out and give it to Zoe as well, so it's just, hey, you can use this. I could ask, hey, do you have like a sound effect that you want associated with you that goes I'm gonna come up with something using the sound effect that she made. Let's do something interesting with the sound effect. Reverse. Let's slow it down a whole bunch. That's a kind of cool sound, isn't it? So what if we just do... Oop, that's not the one. Constant power. There we go. How does that look? It's very silly. It's not really what I thought it would be. Maintain audio pitch? Let's see what that is. Huh. That's kind of nice, actually. How does that sound? That's too slow for it to actually do anything with it. Weird. There's more sounds I can do something with here. That's good. That's a really cool way, and it begins and ends as well. That's kind of perfect, actually. It's kind of cool. Maybe reverse. That's kind of a nice little... Yeah, there's a thing I made. I like that. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, cool, good. And I think that is actually everything. That's everything I wanted to change, apart from making the credits, which is the whole thing. I've got to download a text file and they've changed it around, so I'll figure that out when it's not streaming. And I think the finished video is now shorter. Like, it's full on quite a bit shorter than the original cut was as well. 43, 44. How large is the render? 45, yeah. We've cut like a minute and a half out just from cutting everything down a little bit. Gosh, wow. Whew. Wow. And that, my friends, is a finished video apart from the credits. And that's everything I've thought of. That's everything everyone has even said I maybe should consider doing. And more. I'm really happy with those changes. Thank you for hanging out with me for the last 3¼ hours of this video, and it like made all the difference as well. All the jokes have been enhanced, all the stuff hits harder, music and sound have been changed. I'm super happy with this. Thank you all so much for hanging out and for continuing to support me doing this. I literally could not do this without you. And let me know, those of you watching, if you think, because I'm like 16 people I think, or 18, 19 people max watch this. And I think that's not that many. And it means there isn't that much of a chat interaction going on. I think that could be maybe a little like more fun if there were more people watching. So I'm thinking maybe instead, yes, this is the end. Maybe instead I do this for $5 patrons as well. We let them in, and then I do something else for $10 people that like it makes up for it, or is another thing, and I don't know what that is yet. So let me know if you think there's something you'd like to see as well. And if you're okay with that, you say no. That's fine, Ace. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. I'm totally okay with this being a little secret club. Plus, that means any obvious mistakes I make in the video aren't as noticeable. And plus, that means, that means everyone else can be like get access to this a bit later. That's fine. I don't know what the trick is. Once the floodgate is open, it's hard to close. That's true. And I'm already pretty swamped with stuff I want to do for patrons already. So I'll keep things as they are. This seems fine. I like that this is a special little thing as well that people can just kind of optionally see. I might have to cut this out of the recording of me just discussing this. But yeah, thank you all for everything. And it's nearly 2 AM. I could go to McDonald's. I could stream my drive to McDonald's to make up for my lack of stream because I cancelled my stream to do this. Like they did more $5 patrons. Yeah. Give me comments on the video. On the like Patreon post of this to let me know what you think. Because I could go either way on it. I like doing this. Plus, here's the thing I was actually thinking of replacing it with. I just remembered it. I was thinking before, maybe Q&A stuff, maybe a Discord hangout thing, but that's a lot of time. I was thinking instead, maybe I open up a spreadsheet of the videos that I'm working on, and people like vote on what I should do next, and like I have a list of all the ideas and what progress they're in and what I should do. So maybe that. I don't know. That's something I've considered, and I think it'd be nice letting people pick what to do because I've got so many different ideas of varying like lengths and topics. I mean, half people watch my stuff for like social justice stuff, which is nothing to do with this. So letting people who actually support me pick what it is that they want, people who support me the most as well, thank you, go, hey, you should actually make this. Like, that might actually be a better idea instead of leaving people hanging for 6 months in between videos where I eat a bunch of soy or something. Let me know, ruminate on it. I'm not going to do anything without at least some patrons thinking it's a good idea. So let me know. And thank you so much. I'm going to sign this off now by going over to this one, which is blank. I love you all, and thanks again. I've said thank you enough. I say thank you like all the time. I used to say sorry all the time, so I've improved there somewhat, but yeah. Bye.
a great night.